5.
Oh man, you made me like hold it on the. Hi, welcome back to the Midnite Snak podcast, where we have the goods to keep you up at night. With me today, as always, is Austin. Say hello.
Hello.
I said say hello, not
Hi.
stupid. Justin's also in the corner. Don't say anything because you're meaningless.
He's gargling white stuff.
Oh
Help.
no!
Why'd you
Wait.
gargle milk?
ASMR this shit.
That's fucking.
Because he said my name.
You hear that?
I got horny,
Yeah.
so I gargled.
Oh. So.
Anyway, our lighting is shit right now. Hold on, let me fix that.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Ah! Boner? Oh, I thought you said boner.
Yeah, it doesn't make us look like a.
That's where my flashlight went. Here we
Doesn't
go,
make
better
us.
lighting.
It doesn't make us look yellow, does it? Okay, a little bit more natural lighting coming in, so you can see all of my bumps and.
That was fucking loud.
I didn't hear it, so whatever.
That's so loud.
Anyway,
Brain fart.
we're on a great fucking roll here.
Hell yeah, we are.
So, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video, we're going to kind of continue talking about the delivery stories that we were talking about last week. Of course, not saying the same fucking ones, but we were cut off because I think my computer decided to fucking just have a
Yeah.
stroke. So, here we are talking about more
It
delivery
pulled
stories.
my dad.
Yes, it did.
It just shut off.
It did. It pulled its own plug.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, so I don't think I said my name. My name's Brandon.
Yes.
I've been a delivery driver for almost 5 years now, coming up in October at the same Domino's store this whole 5 years. Austin used to do DoorDash for what, 2 years?
2 years.
And then now he's a Domino's delivery driver, but may not have enough stories from that because he's relatively new. Justin's been a delivery driver for 3 years?
Almost 2. Upcoming this
Didn't you
February.
start in 2019?
No, 2020.
Okay, so coming up on number 2. Okay. Anyway, so we have a lot of experience between the three of us, of course, me being the most. So I have a lot of stories that I have kind of written down a prompt in, I mean, Justin can go to it, but so I can actually remember the stories. Do you have one lined up?
Me?
Yeah. If not, okay, Justin, just say one of them so I can,
One of these?
yeah.
First time.
You just say one of them, it doesn't matter.
Running over a pot.
Okay, so this was relatively early on, probably a month after I started. I was still driving the 2008 blue fucking Equinox. Let's go. That
remember
car
that car.
sucked ass, man. It blew a head gasket at like 100,000 miles. It was a piece of shit. Anyway, one day I was struggling to find a place, and what was worse is I was on a double and I forgot the first place's salad. So I'm really trying to find this place. And for some reason, Google Maps isn't working. Apple Maps at that time wasn't working, and I could not find this address to save my life. I eventually did find it, though. But I was in a bit of a hurry because as I was backing out, I hit a pot. And I was like, I heard something, but it's probably nothing. So I just drove off because I had to, go back to the store, grab a salad, and give it to the first house. Anyway, apparently someone had a camera on their front lawn. So guess how they knew who it was? Oh, it had a Domino's topper on.
Oh, you mean like a pot for like
a
flowers?
plant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was out front in someone's
It's
yard.
like a pot, like a cooking pot. Like,
No,
that's
no,
what
no,
I
no,
was
no.
originally thinking. I was like, they
And so
got
eventually
upset.
they call and they're super upset. And then one of my coworkers walks up to me like, did you by happen chance hit a pot? I'm like, yeah, I did, but that was like a week ago. And she's like, yeah, well, they called the store. And I was like, okay. And it's like, yeah, you should probably tell the manager next time just so that whenever it does happen, she can't just be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. At least then she can be like, yeah, I know it was this driver and blah, blah, blah. But eventually I get his contact information. I call him and be like, hey, sorry, man. I was new driver. I was still like learning the ropes. I ran over it. Is there any way I can just come on by your house and just kind of formally apologize? And he was like, sure. So I drive up to the house, and what's interesting, it wasn't in the yard of the house that I like. That was the weird part. So it was like you had 3 houses. The one that I was in was on like a corner. And then the pot was in this house's yard, and then he was one house over. I found that kind of confusing, but I didn't think much of it. I walked up, I just gave him like $60. I'm like, okay, this should be enough to replace the fucking pot. I don't give a shit. Here's $60, and then I leave. He thanks me and all that stuff. But yeah, that was my second month. That sucked ass. I was like, oh great, I'm gonna lose my job. Turns out no one gives a shit at Domino's.
Yeah.
So unless you run over a kid, you're pretty safe. A potted plant. There's no plant in it. It was an old pot, and they haven't replaced it since, and it's been 4 years. So it's like, oh, so much for that $60, you know?
Where you gave him 60? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been like, fuck you. You should put your pot somewhere else.
It was a pretty big potted plant. It was probably about as tall as this table.
I have a confession to say.
Justin
I
has a
broke pot,
confession.
too.
He broke a pot?
It was there's a sidewalk to go to the house, and there's 2 bikes in the way on the sidewalk. So I try to walk around the sidewalk, and the pot's right there. Didn't really think much of it. It's on a hook, but I don't think much of it. I barely bump it to go to take my delivery, and about 3 seconds later, as I'm walking, I hear a crash. I'm like, oh no. Do I tell these people, or have them blame it, or do I blame it on their kids? So
I blamed it on their kids.
well, how I blamed it on those kids is I just didn't tell them, so they'll probably think it was one of the
Yeah,
kids
that's
that did
true.
It. But yeah,
Damn.
that happened like a month ago.
Oh,
Savage.
there's also
I don't think it
Adam.
was my fault though, because they left bikes in the way, so they didn't leave me space to walk through. So in a way, it's their fault for leaving shit in the way.
So after we had that customer come in, and I'll tell the
Have
story
you
a
ever
little
dropped
bit.
food
Last night? What?
before? Have you
Yes.
ever-
Oh, many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, I've
Especially
dropped
when we
food.
started
on your way there,
Oh no.
like to walking
I've-
up to their
I
house.
haven't-
Typically
my
only
car.
just out of the oven. That's it.
In
I-
my, in my car, sometimes whenever I set it weird or
Yeah.
hit the brakes hard or start fast, they'll fall over forward sometimes. But I don't think it damages the pizza.
No, like if you were to trip and fall, right?
Eh,
Have you ever tripped and fall?
No, I did, but I caught it.
Yeah, I've,
Oh, okay.
I've caught pizza while falling.
Yeah, no, I
We put
almost
too
hurt
much-
Or like
myself
when they're
too.
trying, like when you just barely lean and they just start sliding. It's like, oh no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had that problem. It's I've been delivering long enough that I don't really have that
I
problem.
think we're too good at dodgeball for it to fall.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
there's-
why I
there was
caught
one
mine.
that was
Yeah.
close.
I fell
Fast
backwards
reflexes.
and I
That's
tried to
what I
catch
used do.
myself with one, and I had it. I just kept it like this, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Well, that's
Yeah.
in Domino's, that in front of the Coke holder, there's water leaking. I tripped
Yeah.
trying to grab soda, and I had like 4 things of pizza, and I caught it while falling. And Caitlin's like, "Are you okay? Is the pizza okay? Okay, good."
Actually, I have multiple stories on that regard, but I want Justin to tell a specific story. And the story came up because last night had a bit of a interesting customer. By interesting, I mean she was not being very nice to me. Adam decided to look up old Google reviews at our store, and
Oh, no.
Justin is a very infamous Google review. Someone calls him a retard in this Google review.
I mean, they're not wrong. So, this
So,
is weird. to
do you-
hear my
do you
voice
remember
louder.
that
It throws
story?
me off.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that day. I remember that order. I remember everything. So
Start
okay.
from the beginning,
So
from the
it's-
top.
It's in your neighborhood, believe it or not. Kind of. It's extension. Anyway, so I'm doing this delivery, and I'm not really paying attention to my surroundings. But later on, I realized where this guy was. But I do my delivery. And I think that day, I delivered to the wrong houses like twice. So I was just having a weird day. Anyways, they actually put the order in wrong, the address in wrong. So I delivered to the house that the number where I'm supposed to go, delivered there, and they on the way back, I think I smiled to the neighbor or something. I was like, hey, or like, what's up kind of thing, and then I leave. And then the review, I think, said something about how I looked at them like a retard and laughed at them. I remember that. Retardedly,
Yeah.
yes. And laughed at them. Like, well, I was possibly laughing because I was just being nice. I was like, hey, stop looking at me.
What they reported in the Google review is that they said no, the pizzas were over here, and that you laughed at them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. From what I remember, they put down the wrong address, which basically means we delivered to the address that is posted on it, regardless of what someone else said. Trust me, there are some psychopathic kids that my wife had to deal with that really were trying to get her to give them the pizza. She wasn't having it, so she gave it to the correct address. This happens all the time where people will jokingly be like, hey, it's over here. And you don't typically pay attention, and you just deliver it to the to the house. If they're so bold to steal it from them, then that's up to them. But Justin this day delivers to the exact right address. This guy had put it in wrong. He was one house over. So when he called in, he was not so happy to hear that, hey, we can't do anything. You put in the wrong address. He delivered it to the right place. Sorry. He was livid. And oh, well, it's like, it's your fault.
Yeah.
You have to double check, if triple check your address. If you put in the wrong address and we deliver it to the correct one as you've purported it to be, we cannot give you another pizza. That we just can't. Because we fulfilled our duties. We fulfilled what we're supposed to do, obligated to do.
People could take advantage of that. Be like, oh, yeah, let's deliver to this house. And be like, oh, that's not our place, and get free food.
Yeah, and that's
the thing.
happened before, too. The other thing that we sometimes get a lot is if there's a customer that keeps calling in saying that their food is cold or there's something wrong with their food and they keep doing it over and over again, we will eventually say no remakes because they're obviously scamming.
Because that happened to me not too long ago. I think I mentioned on the last podcast. I'm not sure if I did or not.
I'll let you know.
But I literally put the food in the boxes myself out of the oven and left. There's no way that food was cold.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No.
And
Unless they didn't get to it in time. Or did you
No,
hand
I
it to
handed
him?
it to him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like if you're holding it, you can actually feel it like not burn your hand, but it's like hot.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, hopefully they come out quick because I really don't want to hold on to this anymore.
Especially if it's a pan pizza. Those things are fucking hot.
Yeah, they are. Anyways, and then I go back to like an hour later and it says on the receipt, hand me cold food. I hand you old receipt or some shit like that. Like it was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then, anyways, yeah. They got
Normally what
free
happens
pizza.
is by the time I get back, they're on the line, and then Caitlin will talk to me about the order that I've taken, and then I will basically be like, pretty sure I delivered it to the right house if it's that case. Or if like there's something wrong with the food, then most of the time I don't say anything because I'm not the one that I don't check each individual box.
Yeah.
So it takes way too fucking long.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, this was a few months back, tried to come in to pay for his carryout order. The only problem was it was 11:20 at the time, and we closed our carryout at 11 o'clock, and he hadn't paid for it, so we just canceled his order. So he was waiting at the door, just knocking and kind of loitering a little bit, not noticing that, hey, we're closed. Of course, I'm out on a delivery, so I have to walk past him to get into the store. So I asked him if he has an order already. He said yes. So I went inside without knowing what had happened. So I walk in, I look, I see that it hasn't been paid for yet. And then Caitlin says, we can't give it to him. We're closed. You need to tell him to leave. I'm like, Caitlin, why can't you do that? You're the boss. Come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I go to the front door and I say, hey, sorry, man. Carryout's closed. We canceled your order. Don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, come on, man. Can I not just pay for the pizza? I'm like, no, I've been instructed. Can't do that because we're closed. It's like, oh, come on. And he just keeps trying to bust my balls, trying to get me to actually fucking do it. I hate those customers.
Yeah.
It's like,
I would just shut the door on him.
Yeah,
I so badly did want to shut the door because, but
Yeah.
I knew that he was just going to linger. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And then I said, our carryout's closed, but our delivery's open. So he tries to give me his address. And I say that, no, we don't deliver there. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, dude, I know the address is like the back of my fucking hand. Yeah, I know. Of course, I didn't say it like that. But I'd be like, yes, we don't deliver past this specific street any further north. And you're way north of that. There's no way we deliver there. The only store that does deliver there is the one up by Walmart. So
Yeah.
I told him that. I'm like, sorry, man. I can't do anything about it. So he eventually left. But it's probably like wasted 10 minutes of my time when I was closing. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
That was such a pain. I wish customers would just respond with, oh, okay, and then leave. But no, they're invested. They're like, I just placed this order. Yeah, but you haven't paid for it, but it's mine. It's like, no, it's not until you pay for it.
I have a tiny little story tonight. So I was on my
Your BB?
last order, or my last delivery.
Tonight?
Yeah. And I'm going like 5 over. I only go about 5 over at night because there's cops. And so I don't.
If you have a
really-
car topper, it's not that bad. You can
No,
go 10 over.
I know, but anyways, I'm driving back.
Allegedly.
I'm driving back and I'm going like 5 over. And I noticed this car like come up on my ass.
Yeah.
But I noticed there's a headlight
Come
out,
up
so I'm
your
like,
ass?
oh, it's not a cop, because
Yeah.
but it was a cop, but it had a front headlight out.
Oh.
So, but once he got up on my ass, he backed off because I think he saw that I had a car topper.
Why did he come up on
I
your ass?
don't know, but he flew up on me and then slowed down and then got behind me. And then he followed me until I got close to the store and then he turned around. I was like, bro. And I was going 5 over the whole time. I'm like, I'm not going to change it just because I know you're a cop now.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, if you want to pull me for 5 over, I will gladly be like, your headlight's out. You can't technically give me a ticket.
I mean, he can.
Well, yeah, you can fight it because he's
yeah.
breaking the law.
Oh, well, yeah,
technically.
true.
So,
or you could fight it because under any circumstance he didn't catch you with the radar.
yeah.
If you know that he didn't catch you with the radar and he was just going off of his perceived notion of how fast you were going, then that doesn't count
But
really in a court of law.
here's
In some courts.
My butt did pucker a little bit though.
No, it always does.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
Especially when those sirens go on and then you don't know if it's for you and then they
Yeah.
pass you and you're like, oh
Yeah.
God.
they didn't just catch me with this poor school that I just came from.
Yeah. And the kid in the back is still screaming. No.
Anyways, just joking.
That reminds me, again, 2 stories from earlier. One, I was racing my coworker back to the front door. We used to do this a lot because whoever gets in the front door first is the one who's at the top.
Above, yeah.
So I remember, okay, there's 2 incidents. One, there were 2 drivers that were so focused on each other and trying to make sure that they did that I parked pretty far away, but I knew if I parked far away, I could get out of my car and just fucking book it. And I do that. They don't see me, and I fucking make it to the front door before both of them racing can make it. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then the other one was I run in, my first foot catches the carpet that's at the front door, and then the second foot hits the floor, and I think it just been mopped or it was wet because people who had wet feet were stepping on it. So I just fucking slide like in baseball when they're going for home plate, just fucking slide and slam into the fucking wall. I'm like, ow. And everyone's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of whenever your dad knocked me on my ass. That was Oh, and then the other one is I don't know if I should mention names. I'm just gonna say as someone who works at Domino's tries to square me up jokingly, of course. Like, I could take you on in a fight. I can take you. And the floors had just been mopped. So
yeah, but you're going to go with him.
So this person starts to advance. So I start walking back. And before they even fake throw a punch, they slip backward, grab a bin that has a whole bunch of sauces in it, grab another bin that has all the hiring flyers in it, and just falls back right on their fucking back.
Dude, I could still
Sauces
remember that
everywhere.
shit.
I was like, I saw everything. I started laughing. I'm like, are you okay? I was like,
Yeah, she fell hard.
I was like, I didn't even have to fucking touch you. Ta-da! We figure out. Just intimidating, I guess.
That's funny.
Is there another one? Oh yeah. Okay. Getting into the lady. Not last night. Was it last night? Can't remember.
You said it was.
Did I work
think it was
yesterday?
because-
I did
work
work yesterday, but I didn't
It was
close.
me and Philip were closing along with Caitlin, and then Adam was there still. This was a bummer. So Philip was either out on a delivery or out on break. I can't remember one or the other. And it was relatively late. It was probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So everyone else was gone except for Adam, Caitlin, and I. And there weren't any orders. There weren't any carryout orders or deliveries. So we're all in the back. I'm doing some stuff, but we're all chatting it up and talking about several coworkers or something like that. I can't remember. And all of a sudden, we just hear a disembodied voice. Excuse me. And I was like, oh, sorry. I didn't know you're there. And then I walk out from around and I see this woman standing there. And just from the first glance, I can tell that she's fucking pissed about something. I'm not sure what it is, but she's pissed. And I was like, have you already placed an order? She's like, yeah, I've already placed an order. I'm like, oh, so we're doing this. Okay. I was like, okay, what was the name? She said, what was the name? Buchanan. I was like, okay. And I tried to start spelling Buchanan. Not exactly a fucking easy name to spell by any
wouldn't be
means
able to spell
necessary.
it.
So
I'd
I'm like,
watch the name.
okay, how do you spell it? And then she spells it as fast as she can. So I tried typing as fast as I can. Luckily enough, successful. And right after she says the last letter, she like, yeah, like the president. You know what I said back to her? I'm like, oh yeah, real consequential president. I don't even know who he is. It's like, who the fuck cares? James Buchanan. He was president back in like I think the 1800s.
Oh.
But I was basically like, who? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like if my last name was Smith, I wouldn't be like, like Will. Like, no, just fucking spell your name, you stupid bitch. Anyway, her name not popping up anywhere, and she's starting to get a little bit more antsy and frustrated about
She's on
everything.
crack.
And
She's
no,
straight up on
she's
crack.
not on crack.
She's on
just-
crack.
You want to know why she started out angry? It's because she had been waiting behind my car in the drive-thru, thinking that it's open for 3 minutes.
Oh no.
And I was like, well, that's not my fucking problem. I didn't
Yeah.
have a car topper on at that time. That's why she thought,
No.
it was open. And I'm like, okay. Signs to which the car in front of you is not going to move. Lights are off, engine's off, no sound being made by car. And there's no one
nobody
in the car. So why did you think there was and there's no cars ahead of them. It's like, it's not at the window. There's no cars ahead of
Yeah.
them. You would think, okay. Anyway, she was super pissy about that for some stupid reason. And I tell her, if I don't have the order, which I do not,
Yeah.
it's either at another store or it wasn't placed. And she's like, I'm pretty sure. And she rushes off to go get her phone. And just my luck, God sends just a great sign from God, And this guy walks in, barely speaking English. He walks in, hasn't placed an order yet. Walks up to me. He's like, I don't know what you call it, and he's just taking a little bit of time trying to think of what the word is, and then he tries to describe it, and by the time he's describing it, she comes back up. He's like, the thing that has the cheese all around it. I'm like, oh, stuffed cheesy bread, and he's like, yeah, that. So I eventually asked, I was like, oh, did you want any sauces with that? We have marinara or ranch. And he's like confused, like, what are all of those? I don't understand this. So 3 or 4 minutes go by as we're trying to figure out what sauce he wants. And she's actually trying to help him, which I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. At least you're nice to some people.
Yeah.
Apparently people who can't speak English very well, but
So
he was a nice guy. I had no problem with him at all. So I eventually get all of that figured out. And I tell him the order total is $10.93. So he hands me a $10 bill, and he goes into his wallet, and he gives me exact change. I'm like, this took me 3 minutes after I placed the order to get everything finalized, and I'm talking with him, and I can see her in the corner of my eye. I'm not addressing her at all. I'm just focusing on him. Eventually, she comes back, and I say, did you figure out why we don't have your order? And she's like, here. And she hands me her phone. I'm like, okay. I look down, and within 3 seconds, I see, oh, you've placed it at the wrong store. The store's that way. And she was like, could I get your name? I was like, okay, fine. Brandon. Could I get your last name? And I'm like, no. If you come to this store later, people are going to know who you're referring to when you say Brandon, because there's no other Brandons here. It's like, could I get the store number? I'm like, sure. Here's the store number. Have fun. I was like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen here? That I was rude to you because you're rude to me about me not having your order when you should have checked in the first place of whether or not the order was placed at this one or the other one? It's like, come on.
She just wants her victory. She's trying her best to win.
She did not win anything in that conversation from the, like the president trying to make it sound like I'm ignorant in some way or that I'm not very smart because I don't know a president. It's like, I'm going to give you sass
why
back.
she would know that president is because of her
Last name, yeah. It's like, what's his name? Harrison?
Mm-hmm.
You know how the Pawn Stars, he always refers to Harrison. No one really knows who he is. I think he was the first president to die in office, but that's inconsequential, really. But no, that was like that whole day right afterward, because, my nerves are pretty high. I'm not very good with confrontation for the most part, but I keep as straight a face as possible and try to maintain my composure. But the second she was gone, I had so much fucking adrenaline. Like, oh yeah, fuck you, I was so excited. I think Kayla was starting to get annoyed by me because I just kept bringing her up, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking did it. It's like, if it was my last day, I would have given her more shit. It felt great.
funny.
It felt great. Love those customers. And like past me would have been like, oh, I'm sorry, that kind of thing. But no, present me is like, fuck you.
No.
I know more about this fucking place than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably get, I would say, at least 5 customers every 3 months. Now, not now because we don't really address customers that often, but used to. That will be like, oh, I have an order for such and such, and you look all over the place, you put their name in, it's not anywhere. So you tell them they probably place it at a different store. And they place it at a different store. It happens all the time. So I knew exactly either her husband who placed the order, not even herself, placed it at the wrong
think
one,
she could
or
pull a
didn't place it, apparently, or didn't place it at all. And she did not like to hear that. But I'm like, those are the only 2 outcomes we have here because the system is still online. If you were able to place an order, that means the system's online. If it was online, we would have made it and it would have already been here. If not, we would have canceled it and you would have been contacted through something. I don't know.
Don't Karens always have husbands somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe.
It's typically like not very strong husbands.
Yeah.
She's the man.
They like to prey on the weak.
Yes, they do. They like to wear the pants, if you know what I mean. Being offered weed. I've been offered weed probably 3 times in 5 years because they didn't have a tip and they were high. They're like, oh, I don't have a tip. Could you take this? I'm like, no, dude. If I got caught with that at work, fuck you, man.
I delivered to someone that was fucking out of his mind tonight. It was fucking funny.
It's sometimes a great thing, but sometimes it's like it's a cash order and they're taking their fucking time trying to find their cash. And I know why, because they're high off their fucking rocker, but still, it's like, could you have not placed a card order so I can at least hand you the food and just go? They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have you seen the crackhead that has the 1-year-old pit bull walking around 224th?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have.
Because the way she handles that dog scares the shit out of me. Because, what do you gypsies?
Making it bigger for you.
Oh. Because the way that she holds the leash for the dog's like upper body is being lifted and like held up against her body. I'm like, dude, this dog is fucking being tortured by this lady. It's like, it's a young dog and not treating it right. I'm like, this sucks. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Hey, lady, you don't deserve that dog kind of thing. What is that supposed to do other than anger a crackhead? Did I tell you I angered a crackhead the other day? So the other day I was sitting in what is called our drive-up window, but it's been broken for like 6 or 7 months. But I'm sitting and I can look past the back side of our store. And I see this person walking from the left side of the store over to the right. And I just look at him and he looks right back at me. And I lock eyes with him. Of course, I have sunglasses on, so it's not really the same. And he immediately starts going. And he just goes to town like he's mad at the fucking world. So I just keep staring at him. I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, cause a crackhead to have his moment, just rage filled. Oh, it was so much fun. Entertainment you
Have you ever
have.
seen that video of, well, you probably not, but it's like this TikToker and he goes, I always talk about this crackhead that I see at the gas station that I go to. And he goes, I think it's finally time that I show her to you guys. He goes, she's always screaming. She goes in front of people's faces and just screams. And it's the funniest shit. And so he just like, is doing his gas. He goes, fuck, I have to go inside to like pay. And she's like standing outside the door. He goes, I don't want to walk past her. And then, nothing happens when he walks past her, but when he comes out, she goes, ah! And like, so he just keeps walking and he's like laughing and he's filming it. And she just keeps following him to his gas pump. And he's just filling up and she's just going, ah, like screaming at him. And he's just like holding this and holding his phone. And it was so fucking funny. She just screamed the whole time. And then finally he just goes, ah! like back at her, and then she just stops and stares at him.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think that's the only way. That's the reset button. Just be like, if they're gonna scream at you, scream back at them and see what happens. You know.
But it was like he was like sitting in his car and like filming it for a while, and you just watch her do it to customers.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny. But then he was like, "Fuck, I don't want to go inside." It was great.
All right, Austin, have you delivered to your first gypsy yet? It is very.
What do you exactly
There are
mean?
characteristics of gypsies that seem to be universal.
How I
One, they never
classify.
pay with card; they always pay with cash.
Okay.
Two, if you can look inside the house, they have this ornate decorations, chandeliers, crystals everywhere with
Okay.
magical couches.
Yeah.
Wealthy.
Because
Number three, they're stingy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
They will hand you less money than what the order entails, so
No, I
that
haven't.
you have to count the money and be like, "Hey, you shorted me. I need more money before I can hand you your food." That's happened to me 3 times now at the same house, and luckily enough, one day the lady didn't know any different as far as how much the order was, and she handed me a 50, and the order was like $33. I'm like, $17 from a gypsy? This is like, I'm in heaven. Like this is impossible. But apparently she didn't know, because apparently the men kind of control the money up, and they're a little bit sexist.
Mm-hmm.
Because one time, whenever they did short me,
Okay. Are you?
instead of the guy coming down and handing me the cash himself, he has this like second story balcony that kind of like goes over the front living room, and he just drops the ones for his girlfriend to pick up in front of me. And I was like, if this was my last day,
Yeah.
what I would say to that motherfucker right now and be like, sir, no, ma'am, stop. Why don't you pick it up your fucking self? Get down there and pick it up, you fucking fat pig. And if he doesn't, be like, all right, I'm going back to the store. If you want to call the store, fuck you. And the weird thing about gypsies, and I believe Mackenzie's told you this too, in order to earn respect from a gypsy, you have to treat them worse than they treat you. For some reason, they treat that as respect. Like if you treat them like absolute
She
shit,
told me that. Yeah.
they respect you and they don't try to do shit to you anymore. I'm like, hell yeah. But no, they have a ton of money, but they don't want to give it out because they're stingy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gypsies, they're not very fun.
I wonder what jobs they have to be that wealthy.
I haven't had a gypsy yet.
I don't know.
I've had this white guy that literally gave me a penny for a tip.
Yeah.
Like literally gave me the exact change, and then he had a handful of change, and he grabs a penny and he goes, "Here you go," and then just walks off. And I was kind of like standing there, just kind of like
Did he just?
like, and he's walking off, and I literally just stand there for like a second. I'm like,
You're just baffled.
yeah, kind of. I was like, what do I?
What did I do?
You just walk up to his front door. A penny? Really? A fucking penny?
Yeah.
A last day shit, you know. I can't
Yeah.
wait for my last day, which is actually coming up.
Yeah,
kind of
now
a
that
sad
I'm
day,
there,
but
you guys are always now you're all leaving.
Yeah,
Have you told Caitlin yet?
yeah, I did.
When is it?
I haven't set a date yet, but probably put in my 2 weeks, first week of October.
Okay.
Yeah, won't be there for Halloween. Woo! Thank fucking God. Halloween sucks anyway. Not the holiday, but working the holiday sucks.
I'm gonna try to get that off.
The only nice thing about it, you can't get that day off. They won't let you.
Well, that's too bad. I'm not showing up then.
The other,
Well, put it on the calendar as soon as possible.
Okay, then I'll do it tomorrow.
well, actually, don't just do that day. Do like the whole weekend, and then make up an excuse for why you can't have that weekend off, so that they can't be like, "Oh, he's just trying to get the day off." You have to have some excuse. Like,
Well,
Ashley and I were going on vacation one time, and that was okay.
That's like my Christmas. So no one fucks with my fucking Christmas. Okay?
Don't worry. As a delivery driver, sometimes when you go up to a house, you're like, "Dude, you can take out however much you want." You're like, "Fuck yeah, hell yeah."
Oh, candy.
Yeah. You just store it in your fucking delivery bag. You're like, "Are you sure you got more? Can you refill the bowl? I need some more because I'm not able to do it this year." So
Yeah.
you need to start having kids though, because otherwise it's gonna look like you're a creep.
Kids, what do you mean?
On Halloween, go trick or treating.
I don't go trick or treating.
Then what the fuck do you do?
I throw parties.
Parties. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys used to do it whenever we dressed up. That's not creepy. When you have
Oh,
a group of
we'd
friends-
do it up until
Okay,
we were
when
like
you have
17.
a group of friends, but
Yeah.
otherwise you just
Yeah.
No, like when we were like 17, we did it
dress
all
as
up
the
until
pedo
then.
bear
Oh, no.
No, we did trick or treating up until we were like 17.
or the Queen of England.
I thought we did it once as adults too. Like we were 19.
Mm-mm.
I don't
I
remember
haven't
that.
done it. Yeah, no, I think the last time when I was 17, that was my last time.
The last
ever
time you were
trick-or-treating.
17? There's only one time you were 17.
The last time I was 17.
One 365 days, unless it was a leap year than 366.
Yeah. No,
Technically,
that's
365.25
that's like my Christmas.
is every
So.
year, but I'm just being technical.
Actually, it's like 2-5, and then it's like a 0-1-6, and blah blah blah. blah.
Yeah, literally the whole reason why I have long hair.
Okay.
That's how-
Halloween.
You can
So-
tell Caitlin that too. It's like, you know why my hair is this long, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
For Christmas.
Yeah, for my
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Christmas.
Just put in your 2 weeks at the same time as me, and then get rehired the day after.
She won't hire you back.
I
though.
know.
She'd be
I'm
petty.
kidding. So I guess the next topic is instead of customers, let's talk about coworkers. Now, it's probably best
Oh,
not to
God.
talk about coworkers that we currently have, so you might not be able to say anything as far as delivery.
Past coworkers.
Well, yeah, I got shit ton from
Other places.
other
Yeah.
places.
Eh,
You kidding me?
I'm
Dude.
trying to think of where I start with this one. Okay.
You'll go, I'll go. Let's
Okay,
do it like
okay.
that.
So-
Matt, no.
No. When I first started, there was a super fucking tall guy at Domino's. He was 6'9", and he was
Holy fuck.
and he was the shortest in his family.
Who, his
Tall ass
mom?
motherfucker. Yes.
Oh, damn.
Tall ass motherfucker. And I was like, God damn, you make me look like a fucking midget. Like, holy shit.
Dude, if I was standing next to him, I'd be like,
Hello, Dad.
No, you wouldn't be able to see him because of the shadow of his cock, you know?
yeah.
Anyway,
My nipple.
super cool guy. His customer service was actually
Oh,
nice.
man.
His customer
Feed
service
the baby.
his customer service was even better than Justin's. Like, he was pretty good at his job. But one day,
Hey.
no, I was just saying he was a pretty good coworker.
Yeah,
But
I'm
one
just
day, I get a message from my manager at the time saying that he had been fired and that no one is safe. And I was like, that's a bit ominous. I'm a pretty hard worker, but he's also really good at community service. So I kind of took it as a, what the fuck happened? Apparently, he tried to sell cocaine to a coworker. Both him and the coworker were immediately terminated. And the reason he was
Damn.
selling the cocaine is he had just recently gone through a divorce and lost about $20,000 in his house. So he was a bit,
Sounds about right.
yep. And I was telling him, like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, thinking about getting engaged. And he immediately is that person that's like, don't, it's a mistake, don't do it. And I'm like, the fuck I'm gonna listen to a relationship advice from a divorced guy? Fuck you, asshole. You think I'm the same person as you? Obviously not. Anyway.
Damn. 6'9".
And he drove a Honda Civic, like a 2004 Honda
How do you
Civic.
fit?
I don't know. And he had back pain too, so I imagine it's because
Oh.
of the car.
I just imagine it's from being that tall.
And he slept in his car a couple times too. That's probably also why.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that was one of them. Of many.
Where do I begin? I kind of want to start with this guy named George.
Jorge.
No, this motherfucker. I've got to give a little bit of a backstory on this guy.
I have another customer story in a little bit too. after you're done.
So this guy, I was working at Toyota. He got fired after I left.
Toyota.
I don't know how he stayed there for as long as he did without being fired, because he was one of the most retarded motherfuckers of all time. Anyways, this man is missing teeth. He has fake teeth, like dentures. He was 39.
Hold on. Justin, make sure the stream's still going. I just want to make sure we're still healthy and still going.
Yeah.
Okay, everything's good. Volume's good. It's okay. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know what this shit is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, even though I do interrupt
No,
a
you're
lot,
good.
but
You're good.
I just want to make sure people can hear your beautiful voice. Anyway, back to George, the
anyways.
retard.
Anyways, like this guy is like missing teeth. He's balding, but not like, okay, he's got like hair on the sides like this, and he's got like a
Oh.
cone-shaped head.
So he's got like a halo,
Yeah, but
and he's
like,
a pinhead too.
yeah, he's got a halo, and
Justin,
missing
what are you
teeth.
looking
He's
at?
short. He's
I'm
short
looking
as
for
fuck.
your minutes, damn it.
It's the fourth one.
Okay.
He's short as fuck, and he's shorter than I am.
Okay.
That's pretty short.
Okay.
And well, I'm
Way,
just
way to diss yourself.
well, I'm just saying it how it is. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the tallest.
I'm
but
pretty tall.
anyways,
Boys, too.
so
Yeah.
and this guy was in charge of another pit and a pit lead.
You want to
and I was a
explain
pit
what
lead.
a pit is?
So a pit is we were lube techs at the time. So what it's just doing like oil changes, car tire rotations. Like if you have a nail in your tire, we patched it. All fluids, replace batteries.
if you want to get rid of a
windshield, like,
body.
everything that you could just replace with quick
Yes.
service and not go to back shop. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And so we were doing, and he, even
So
if
the pit,
the pit,
describe what the pit is.
that's what I did. I just did.
well, you described what a lube tech was.
The pit. Okay, a lube tech. That's what we did. But the
Okay.
pit is there's 3 places where your car goes over this hole
in the ground.
in the ground. It's pretty big. Anyways, it covers, it's just wide enough for your car, like probably like that much on each side for the tires, to go over this hole. So we had to drive it in. We couldn't do like the customer because a car has landed inside the pit before because
And
of a
it's-
stupid driver.
And it's a bitch to get back out.
Oh yeah, because that thing's like, what? Probably like 12. About 12 feet, like down, and that's how far it's going down in this hole. So, anyways, so that's where we have, that's where you do the oil changes and check for leaks, stuff like that. Lift the car too. We have, hydraulics that
So
you
th-
place.
So the pit's basically used so that you don't have to use a lift. You can just drive the car
Yeah.
over it and immediately service the vehicle. You don't have to wait for a lift to go up, and you don't have
Yeah.
to wait for someone to operate the lift
Yeah.
because in order to operate
Well,
a lift, you had to have
I
some kind
have-
of special qualification.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Yeah.
So, actually, no, you didn't. You don't need to. You
Okay.
just need to be certified as a lube tech. That was all you needed
Okay. Okay.
to do it.
But anyways, faster. Just drive your
Yeah.
car over a hole.
You just drive your car over. I go under, put blocks on your frame, and then I hit the big button, and it goes and it lifts up. Anyways, so I was going to go grab a car because they were just pulling out, and it's first come first serve, kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I was doing it, and it was a big Toyota Tacoma. It was lifted, and all that fun jazz. And anyways, I get in it, and he comes running over to me.
George.
Yeah, George. He was on pit 1. I'm pit 2 leader, and that Nate at the time was pit 3 leader. And so he runs over to me, opens the door, grabs me, throws me out of the car. He goes, "This is my fucking car. Don't take my fucking hours." And I literally get up, and I'm like in his face. I was like, "You want to go out back? Let's go out back." Because there's literally fights
be
at
careful.
Ford.
I'd be careful because retard strength is real.
Oh no, this guy.
He's a soft.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a soft retard. And okay, dude, there's so many stories. He dropped a skit shield on his face. A 60-pound skit shield went boom on his face, and he fell with it. It was the funniest fucking shit. Because he was talking about like, oh yeah, it was. Anyways, that's a different story.
I wanna hear that one too.
Okay, I'll just tell it real quick.
So he pulled you out of the
So
car.
he's
Did you
he's
actually go out
always
back?
bragging. Yeah, we went out back. We took off our clothes and everything. We were getting ready to fight.
Just-
until
Stripped down to your fucking wiener.
because we will not get fired as long as we don't have our shirts on.
Okay.
So we can literally have a fight out back and not get in trouble if we don't. But if we have our service tech shirts on, then we will get in trouble.
Yeah.
But if we don't have anything that relates us to the company, we're fine. So all that can complain is customers.
Yeah.
So that's it. Anyways, going real quick to when he dropped it on his face. So he's always bragging about something. His broken down cars, he's always bragging about
Hondas.
how he can beat the fastest car, like the fastest of the fastest. Like, oh yeah, this Lamborghini like has nothing on my car, and he was being legitimately serious. And his car would break down in the parking lot almost every other week, and it barely ran. So that's the kind of.
But when it
character that
ran,
you're
it could beat a Lamborghini. Yeah, maybe a Lamborghini from the 1980s.
Well, maybe that's why
and
it's-
maybe with like flat tires.
No, like Lamborghinis from the 1980s had V8s that were smaller than my 4-cylinder and had less horsepower because of the fuel embargo. They had to make worse engines.
Maybe his car was shutting down every 2 months because he was racing people. all the
Oh
time.
no.
I mean, if you put a fat turbo in your car, that's gonna cause your car to break down a lot faster. But
Yeah,
maybe
so
anyway,
maybe-
continue.
he had a Bronco.
He had an old Bronco.
Ah,
That wouldn't beat shit.
Yeah.
well,
Okay, off a line to
sleeper
maybe
car,
0 to
maybe.
60, maybe. But the second that Lamborghini hits 100, you're
There
at 80.
there was a group of, I'll say Mexicans that
You mean people from
worked-
Idaho?
worked at the pit later on. It was probably like I would say like 8 months after I started working there, and I was
Okay.
already established in the pit. And the whole crew of them come in. Like 8 of them start working there,
Okay.
and they're all in this Honda gang. Not even joking.
God gives the loudest exhaust to the slowest Hondas.
Yep. And George and them raced, and they beat him in their Honda.
Yeah,
and
no
then
shit.
I beat them with my motorcycle because they were talking shit of how great Hondas were, and they were like, "Oh, I bet you I could beat your bike," and I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
Like
go.
after work, we would have drag races, and it was right by a police station, which was the funniest shit. And like they did not care out in
No.
Tacoma. They don't give a fuck.
They're like, I have my 4th murder trial case.
Yeah.
And this Tuesday.
Yeah. So, anyways, like he's always talking his shit, like George. Like no matter what, he always bragging, always this and always that.
So he's taking all the scale. I could do this.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so he's basically bragging of like, oh, I've been working out. This doesn't weigh this, weigh this much, anything. And he's like on his tiptoes, like putting this in because he's a short dude, and he has the stilts and everything. And I get it. Some of the cars are tall, but it was a regular Tacoma. Anyways, he's doing this, and he gets the bolt in here, and he's working on this one, but he didn't screw these ones in right. And so they were just
Oh.
hanging in there. He went in sideways, so it didn't screw in.
Oh.
And then he goes, "See how quick that was?" And he like, "Let's go," and it goes boom. And that shit was so fucking funny. Anyways, back to my original story. We go out back afterwards, and my boss was like, "Take off your shirts if you're gonna fight. Take off your shirts."
Make sure you look gay, okay?
Yeah. And then, anyways, so we're out back, and
you gotta
like
kiss,
we're talking.
and then you gotta kiss afterward, make up
Yes.
for it. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't kiss him. I'd probably get like 10 different diseases. Because he lived in a trailer park too.
Oh, okay. I thought
So
maybe
he
he was this kind of George, but
No. Anyways, like we're in each other's face, like legitimately getting ready to fight. And anyways, and I was like, "Do you really want to fight me?" And then he was like, "I could easily take you." And then 2 of my buddies at the time were there, and they're like, "You don't want to fight him, bro. He might fool you with his look, but he will murder you." Anyways, so the shit talking went on for a while.
you may be a retard, but he's got retard strength.
Yeah, basically. Anyways, so it starts like de-escalating. He's talking all this shit, and I'm just like giving him comebacks, like 1-line comebacks, and it just shut him down every time. And so it didn't go to a fight, even though I watched him fight a few of my coworkers. That was really funny because they just had enough of his shit. One time, one of my coworkers threw a wrench across the pit,
That's not safe.
and like it hit right by him. And like, granted, he was coming at him over here. It was so fucking funny. There were fights every day at Ford, because everyone hates each other. It's small proximity.
Well, yeah.
If someone farts down in the pit, everyone suffers because it doesn't go anywhere.
yeah, there's
It
no
stays
ventilation
down there, and it
Yeah.
smells like ass already. So we're all just working hard. We smell like crap. We have oil all over our bodies. Like, it's disgusting. And, we got dirt, grime were
Come.
overworked, less paid. Like we got
Blood.
just minimum wage working there. So I was like, okay, like I understand it, but I don't. But anyways, yeah, this man is just, I got so many funny stories of him, and me and him almost went out back a few times because I just couldn't handle him. He eventually got fired, but yeah,
That's good.
That guy is.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Justin, you wanted to tell a story?
If I can remember. Oh,
So anyway, I was fucking George.
So Domino's story. Back to
Okay.
Domino's. There's a customer that I was doing cart side for, and I think it was next to this other car with
Okay,
a dude in there,
so-
weeping. He was weeping. What?
Explain car side.
Oh, so at Domino's, there's this thing called cart side. Whenever you make an order, and whenever you show up, you click confirm order, and we'll come out and give you your food.
In
That's when we
a
go
short way of
outside.
putting it's like curbside delivery. If you go to a place, you place an order, we'll walk the order out to your car.
Kind of like Walmart orders.
Yes,
order
like
out too.
curbside.
Like if you go to a restaurant, curbside,
Pickup.
Pickup.
It's
they
yeah.
hand you your food.
Instead
tell
of
them
you
to
having to
yeah.
go in, we come out to you. Anyway.
Anyways, I gave them their food, and then this car, like really close to their car, say, "Hey, come," or like, "I want to talk to you," kind of thing. Don't ever get a wife, or like, don't ever find a girlfriend or something. He's like sobbing and everything, and then
You saw David?
and his wife is in the Domino's getting the food right now. She's walking out, and as I'm walking back to this, I told him sorry, man, because he was crying. I don't know what to do. But she's walking out, and as she's walking towards the car, she said, "You guys forgot the pepperoni, or you guys didn't put enough pepperoni on the pizza." I was like, "Dude, I'm really sorry, man." I didn't say that, but I was this close to saying that.
It would have been
I was
funnier.
like, I understand.
It would have been funnier if you went, "Shut the fuck up, we're having a moment right now." Sorry.
But yeah, you remind me of that story whenever you mentioned something about I forget what it was now. But anyways, you said your story, so I forgot what it was.
Anyway, another coworker that I had to deal with is there was this really short girl at Domino's. Yes, we have both extremes: tall men and short women. Go figure. I mean, she was barely 5 feet tall, with stilts. No, she was about 5 feet tall, and I'd already started to grow to not really like her very much because she was kind of one of those coworkers that bosses you around and tells you what to do. And one of these days, I had already done a job that the manager asked me to do before I could go home. And I wasn't closing at this time because I was still in college. And Ashley was now working at the store too. So I'm getting ready to go home, just waiting for Ashley to come around so I can, tell her goodbye until she gets to go home. And this coworker of mine decides to tell me to take out the cardboard. Not ask me nicely, but Brandon, take out the cardboard. And I said, no, I had already done something. And you're not my manager. If you asked nicely, maybe I would have done it. So her way of trying to get me to do it was after Ashley had went around the corner and I'm standing there getting all my money and stuff, and she's standing by the lock boxes. She gets down on her knees and begs like this, to which I said, I'm definitely not going to fucking do it now. If you want to manipulate me to do a job, you're not doing a very good fucking job. I'm going home. It's like, don't kneel in front of, or do that in front of my fucking girlfriend. Not my wife at the time, but don't do that in front of my fucking girlfriend. That's completely inappropriate. So I just left. She was not very fun in the first place. Oh, and
Fun size, but not fun.
not at all. And there's also another short story that I'd like to share about another short person. And she was also like 18, barely. I don't even think she was 18 because she lied about a lot of shit. Anyway, worst employee ever. After she was given her money, she would linger and text and talk to people. And the managers had to constantly say, you need to clock out, you need to clock out, you need to clock out. She wouldn't for some fucking reason.
Just clock out and then talk.
Yeah.
You know?
She wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I think she wants more money. But anyway,
Yeah.
she started doing that a lot. And then one day I come to find out that she's fired. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. should have happened a long time ago because she has a horrible work ethic and she flirts with half the guys here. Thank God I got a girlfriend and I don't gotta fucking worry about this 18-year-old, probably 16-year-old hitting on me. I was probably like 19, 20 at the time. The reason she was fired is she forged a doctor's signature on a sick leave note. This girl is so fucking stupid that she forged a sick note and didn't bother to give any information other than a signature. She was as stupid as she was lazy. She was not very fun to be around either because she had such a high opinion of herself, but she was dull, very dull, and probably a stripper today. Maybe.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, we've had not a stripper, but someone who works at a strip club who was a waitress and also a manager who worked at Domino's. Whenever COVID hit, they shut down all strip clubs. Go figure.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Dude, I got endless amounts. One funny one. It was from George, of course. There was one day. He was super gassy, right? So we were all dreading going down into the pit every time a car came, and I was draining oil, and then I hear, George, where are you going? He just walks off, and he goes, I gotta go home, and they were like, why? He goes, I gambled on a fart and lost. That was really funny.
Yeah.
We were
and you're like, for this moment, George, at least have some semblance of like, okay, fine.
Yeah, it was really funny. So that was one of the funnier moments of George. I mean, he was just funny in general because it was so stupid. It'd make you laugh because it's like what's coming out of your mouth.
Shit.
But that was like a legitimately funny one that he gave a line and said. I was like, okay, I like that, saying how he said that. This is coming from the guy that his girlfriend brought food to work for him. She was hefty, and he's also hefty.
Oh, so Bronco.
Yes.
Got to support
So
the weight of your
he's-
wives.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyways,
Well,
she's
obviously
bigger
not
than
wife,
him, and he's pretty big. Anyways, so
That's past damn.
Yeah, that is.
anyways, so
Oh,
you know,
hell no.
she was super nice though. Like we all got to meet her. She was super sweet, but
So was her blood.
yikes. And then he goes, he goes, oh, what do you think of my girl? To all of us, and we're like, yeah, she's nice. And he goes, yeah, but she's got chum bucket pussy, bro.
You said that?
Yeah. And
While she was there?
No, she left at this time, and we're like, one of my buddies there was like, chum bucket pussy, because we all went silent because we're like, that was
Did you just fucking say
that was super disrespectful, like to your girl too, like, and he was being dead serious. He was like, yeah, but unfortunately, like, she got chum bucket pussy, and
That's
we were all
different
just
than like, yeah, but sometimes when I'm going down, it's just whoo. Yeah, that's different than, yeah, but she's got a chum bucket pussy and
Yeah.
an ugly face. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? That's
But
your girl,
it's-
not mine. Why the
yeah.
fuck do you feel like you gotta do that with
But
me?
that was just George for you.
Because that's not an inconvenience anymore. That's an insecurity right there.
Yeah. He was interesting, but those were just two really, really quick stories.
There's one time. This person you'd actually know, but I don't remember if you knew that she worked here as a manager. Anastasia.
Yep.
Yeah. That's Seth's sister, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Anyway, do you know why she left? Okay, so I come in this day. I come to work this day, sorry. And I'd already been informed that a bomb threat had been made at the store, and I don't think much of it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's probably some dumb teenage kid's like, I put a bomb in the oven, yeah. Anyway, you still have to take it seriously regardless. Cops had to come out. They had to file a report. And as I'm walking in, Anastasia is kind of just walking all over the place. She looks kind of a little frazzled about everything. And she says, I need to go home. I gotta go home because I don't want to be here if there's been a bomb threat. And the manager at this time is the worst micromanaging manager I've ever had, that cuts corners and does not give a shit about his employees.
Yeah, didn't they fire her because she went home?
Yes. He would not give anyone their breaks, even if they were minors. And by the way, that's a big no-no. If you do that, that's a fine of $10,000 to $15,000 per violation, and he did it on the daily. So he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And he was a bit of a prick because he thought he was tough shit, but he was really fucking awkward to be around. Just say the most cringy shit at times. But anyway, he says, "No, you can't go home." It's like, "Why can't I go home?" It's because it's not a problem. Like the bomb threat, it's all been resolved, kind of thing. She's like, "Well, it would make me feel safer if I could see the report. If I don't see the report, then I don't really want to be here." It's like, "I'm not giving you the report." She's like, "Okay, then I guess I'm going home." She grabs her things. She walks toward the front door, and he said, "If you walk out that door, you're fired." So she walks out the door. And I so badly wanted to tell the manager, I'm like, "Why the fuck would you do that?"
Yeah.
That's a very credible thing to ask for. It's a bomb threat.
Yeah.
Do you think that making pizzas and delivering pizzas is worth a fucking like being exploded and not having any of your remains left for your family to mourn over?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you, you heartless bastard? Anyway, she left. Probably good for her because I had to survive that manager. There are certain managers that I'm sure people have also worked with that you have to survive.
Yep.
You're just, okay, maybe, I'm hoping they die or they get fired.
Yep.
I don't see their car. If I see their car in the parking lot, my day is ruined. And every day, fuck. It's like, God damn it,
What
you
happened
stupid
to him?
piece of shit. He got fired.
Good.
He got murdered.
No, he got fired. This was right before the owners changed, and a lot of information was found out about him, as well as, all the violations and everything. So he was subsequently fired. Should have been a little bit more than that, because not only is it like $10,000-$15,000 per violation, or up to that much for a minor brake violation, but for a non-minor, it's $5,000, up to $5,000.
Who gets the 5,000? The government?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's
Should go to us.
it's just to ensure that they don't break it, I guess. But I mean, how are you supposed to pay it out to them? I don't know how that's supposed to fucking work. You'd have to go to a court. I don't know how that would work, but anyway, yeah, no, that manager, just a complete asshole. And luckily enough, for some reason, he liked me. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I can skate by. He told me in confidence, of which I'm going to say now, that he was so amazed about the lack of common sense of most of the employees. And he's like, and not you. I was like, thanks. Like, fuck you, asshole. You're calling all my fucking coworkers retards,
Yeah.
Like, really? Really? I mean, I understand. There are some things where you make a mistake, it seems like you have no common sense. But there are some times where you have a coworker that does not have any common sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Just everything they do is just.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy named Chad, one of the guys that got fired because of the Coke thing. Dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah.
The dumbest fucker I have ever seen in my life.
I feel like one of the new
that
guys
had
is like
the
that.
ability to speak English.
I mean, his name is Chad.
He was so dumb, like just mind-numbingly dumb. He made you look like Einstein kind of shit. Like, he was so
That's hard to
fucking...
do for me.
Sorry, I dissed you a little bit there, but no,
No,
he was such. Oh my god, he would ask you the most dumb, vain questions. That's like, dude, just look. Oh, it was awful. Anyway, yeah, that coworker was awful, but that was before the manager even got there, so he didn't even know about him. But he would tell me like, yeah, they don't even know which bottle lid goes where. I'm like, the fuck? Did you train him on it? Like, at that time we were doing color coordination, and we still kind of do that a little bit now, but
Oh, I don't know that.
like.
Because you're not an opener.
like the cinnamon and the there's
Isn't it
mango.
brown?
The cinnamon and the mango get purple, and then
Oh,
barbecue
purple.
gets brown, and then like it's all color coordinated. But he was complaining about that. I'm like, okay, this is a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
You're not getting let's just say doctors to work here. You're getting people who either survived through high school and made it out with a diploma. Well, not you, probably.
I survived.
Did you get a diploma?
Yeah.
Okay. If
I
that, then maybe a
graduated.
GED. Okay.
So that was all I needed.
Probably not fucking Chad.
That was all
Like-
I
Probably
needed.
drop out.
Like he lowered my faith in humanity a little bit. Just
Yeah.
how dumb he was sometimes. You know, you meet someone who's just that dumb, you're like, and we're the same? It's like, oh God.
We're the same
That makes me
species.
seem like a fucking asshole, but no, I
That's-
fucking mean it. There is some people.
Yeah.
And okay, it's not someone's fault if, like, let's say they have Down syndrome or they have autism at a really dramatic scale that they can't really talk or they can't interact in a way. That's not against them. That's not their
Yeah.
fault. But there are certain people that obviously didn't try in this world to learn anything, and it
I
shows.
will try my best to get out of order, like taking customers' orders,
Yeah.
because I did it once. Because when you go there at 1:00, you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, for 1:00 is pretty early.
It's
and
way
I
too
hate
early.
It.
Yeah.
I hate it. There's nothing to do.
No.
Nothing. And like you're literally just trying to figure out what you can clean that hasn't been cleaned, and it's like there's nothing other than the ceiling. Like I literally cleaned the sweeper.
You could start
the
smoking.
sweeper bucket.
Just be like Parker, just stand in the back for
Like,
15
you know,
minutes.
I cleaned that out.
Dustpan.
yeah.
Yeah, the dustpan. I cleaned that because I was
it's
just
nasty.
cleaning the most randomest things.
Oh, and I made it
Because-
nasty because after the make line just leaks all over the
Oh,
place, I
know.
just sweep it up into the
too.
dustpan and throw it over. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Because if you mop it, the stuff just gets everywhere. The cheese, everything. I'm like, no.
I
but-
do the same thing.
No,
I'm getting hot.
yeah, it was. I did it, and it took me forever, and it's so confusing. I get so stressed out because they're just like staring, and this guy talked so softly too, and I didn't know how to work the machine because I haven't been shown how to
Yeah.
do that. I've been kind of briefed over it in a sense when I bought my own Coke, but I wasn't really paying attention. She was just like,
You
click
bought
this,
it from
click this.
You bought it from David?
Okay,
That was
a
the tall
Coke
guy's name, by the
bottle.
way. Yeah, I know.
Coke bottle.
I'm just trying to get some continuity, okay?
Yes. Coke. Cocaine. The cock.
The cock.
The cock. The ginger cock. Yes. But yeah, no, I will do my best to get out of doing it. Like if someone else, like
I
I'm
used
gonna
to do
be-
that all the time.
No, I'm literally going to, if Caitlin's like, hey, order, I'm gonna be like, you do it. And
I'll
I
do
will
what
do what you're
you're
doing.
doing.
Because I'll literally, if you want me to scrub the ceiling for punishment, like I will do that. If I don't have to do this.
Hell, I'll suck someone's dick instead of
Like-
doing this shit.
Yeah,
I'll suck someone's dick.
I know.
Without any kind of clause?
Nope.
Jesus.
No, he did it tonight at work.
Yeah.
We were,
Cum
we were really
guzzling,
slow,
butt
and I
fucking
got the dishes all done, and we
dumb
just
slut.
And now it's just under there trying to speed them up,
Yeah.
giving me
Oh,
some
I'll
go-go juice.
Oh, the other thing, and I will not bring up names or at what timeline this has occurred, which probably actually brings up the fact that it's been fairly recent because this person still works there. But having a conversation with some of my coworkers about what sport a certain individual who works at Domino's plays. And this individual is not athletic. It's not very social, a bit awkward at times.
So me.
And said that he plays sports. So we started coming up with sports that maybe someone like him would play. We're like, volleyball. I was like, volleyball? What the fuck are you talking about? You can't jump. Tennis. It's like, that takes a lot of like stamina and a lot of going back and forth, a lot of sprinting. I'm like, probably not. Someone, esports. I'm like, there you go. We're on the right track. And I was like, chess. And I was like, yeah. And then I come in the next day. I'm like, gymnastics. And it was pretty funny. I think it's still going to be a running joke. We'll see how long it lasts because it is about a certain coworker. So you
She still works there?
got to be careful. Yes, that's why I'm being very careful,
Yeah.
Justin.
You know we've said a lot of coworkers' names today.
What?
We've already
Yeah,
said a
but-
lot.
No,
Not
but this is
the
involving the
story.
coworker in like a negative light.
Oh.
And I haven't said the names of someone who currently works at
Yeah.
Domino's if I'm referring to them in a negative light, unless it's
Or me.
okay. The other thing outside of coworkers that I wanted to talk about a little bit, it's a little personal.
Okay.
So, at Domino's, if you're a driver and you've been driving for at least 2 months, you will start to be asked to train drivers. I have trained 5, including you, I think, 5 drivers. My curse, and yes, I do call it my curse, is that driver that I trained will not last more than a month.
I'm already there.
Aw.
The difference between you and them
We're
is that I would share half of my tips with them. I did not share half of my tips with you.
I don't care.
That's probably why you're still fucking here. That's my curse for some fucking reason, or it's the fact that I know you. It's one or the other. But every single person that I trained, different background, like everything, all being the same. They went through the training. Everything was lined up. All they had to do was drive. They would quit within, some of them with one bitch quit. I didn't see who she was, so I can call her a bitch. Caitlin walks up to me and she asks, do you want to train this girl tomorrow? I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. She comes in the next day. Yeah, you don't have to train that girl. She quit. Wow, real fast. I was like, I didn't even fucking train her yet. So that's my curse. My curse is if you come to our Domino's, which I doubt you'll find, you might be able to find because we slip up a lot that I've noticed. And
don't
you
really
want to
care.
get trained, don't get trained by me because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think the one that lasted the longest was on and off a couple times. And what was really confusing is
Which will be me.
I saw him later somewhere and someone called him by a different name. And I was like, is this dude living a double life or is he like a psychopath or something? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I think his name was Aaron. And then I think I don't remember what he was called, but saw him somewhere and he obviously didn't recognize me, but I recognize fucking everybody. So I was like, I'll just listen on this conversation and see whether or not he's gay. Because the person he's with was a man. So that, oh, they're having a dinner date at Mod Pizza. Wonder what they're getting later. I'm gonna stick something else in the oven, if you know what I mean. The proverbial fudge packing oven.
Ruggy.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Uno reverse?
I just don't know why they're here.
I don't know. Austin started fiddling with it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now that I read this, do you have any stories before I continue?
No.
Okay. Anyway, one day,
Are we getting into the personal?
no.
Oh.
This is later. What? Sorry. No, still store, but this is later in my run.
Oh.
So I put everything in my car for this order, and I leave a bag of I believe 2 liters above the car, just behind the car topper, and I forget about it, and I drive pretty much all the way to this customer, and there had been multiple speed bumps, and I had been going 50 miles an hour because it's on a road that you can do that. I had made rather sharp turns as well. And I go, oh shit, I forgot. And I rolled down the window. How the fuck is it still here? I was like, yeah.
Wait, 2 liters?
2 liters and
In a bag.
a cardboard bag survived somehow. And I had gone over like 3 speed
I
bumps.
can't even set them down on the porch
Yeah.
without them falling.
I don't know what the fuck it was with this day.
Maybe an angel was holding it for you. He's like, I got you, bro.
I don't know what it was because I wasn't driving like super erratically, but I wasn't driving cautiously because I wasn't like, oh, there's something on top of my car. Like, no. I was like, how the fuck did this happen?
Was it next to your car topper? Like right next
I
to
put it right behind it. That's why it
That
probably
might-
survived because it didn't have to be
Whenever you
blown
brake,
by
it doesn't-
wind.
Yeah, but even if you slam on the brakes, it's gonna go.
No, it won't.
Or
If it's
take-
It'll
grounded-
it'll go up against
or
the
take
car
off,
topper.
It's gonna.
Yeah, if I
Take-
take
yeah,
off.
But you don't start very fast, do you?
I can't remember if at this time I was. Now I have
But
been.
yeah,
but-
when you turn, you think it would
And the way
fall,
that
but
my roof
anyway.
is sloped, so at the car topper, it's still at about that much of an angle before it slopes back down. So it could have just been leaning up against. Anyway, it was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to go back to the store and explain this fucking story again.
Yeah.
Oh, today, okay, today, I turned the wrong direction onto the
I've
main
done that a few times.
because I think I was anticipating the
Yep.
construction, but it wasn't there anymore. And Justin sees me. He's like, "Bad double." I was like, "No,
Yeah,
just
no,
turn."
that was me.
No, wait. No, I was like, "No, turn the wrong direction." So I come back, and I pass you. I believe I pass you on.
Yeah, and then
Eustis.
you turn around.
Yeah, and then I turn around because I missed the turn again. I was like, I'm having a
Yeah,
fucking bad.
was
You
like,
want to know
what is he
why? Because I was
doing?
going on autopilot. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of like talking to myself, and
Oh,
I was
yeah,
on
I do that too.
autopilot.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh shit,
Yep.
hold on, turn around.
I do that.
I did
all
that
the time.
twice on
Well, I
one
texted
order.
you that I've done that before too. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just sometimes think I'm going this way for
Yep.
Yep.
weird reason.
Yep.
I even put on the maps like where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to go, but sometimes I just
Yep.
turn the wrong way.
Mhm.
Yep,
I'm like, oh shit, I did that.
that
wrong.
was me today.
No, I did that.
I had a hard
Already,
time
like,
concentrating
twice.
today too. So I was like, ooh, this is really bad. But what was nice is tips were so fucking good for me today.
Yeah.
You
I-
got 1/3 of the tips from everyone. Shared everyone. That's what Caitlin told us.
I think I got $190 in tips.
Took all of our money.
Well, that's plus mileage, so technically $150 in tips. Because I got
That's
a
really
$38 tip, two $14 tips, three $8 tips, like six $5 tips.
My highest tip today was $11.
Yeah, I
I
got a
think mine was
$38
8.
tip
I kept
today.
getting 3s and 4s.
That dude. Yeah.
What's nice is
that
what
was-
I've come to learn is that if it's a payday Friday, people tip fucking amazing. If it's a non-payday Friday, they tip shit.
Mm.
And throughout the week, like the weekend after payday, it's pretty good. And then maybe the Monday, Tuesday, it's pretty good. And then it starts to drop off all the way until the next payday. And then it takes off again. Yeah. That's-
You remind me to check the bank because he said it was payday.
Yeah,
I checked
payday.
last night.
Not bad this time, 1,500. Hell yeah.
It's nice.
I don't know what I got because
I'm
my
like
phone
I'm
is...
like full time now.
Yeah, how much did you get if you don't mind me saying on camera?
I got like 1,200,
Okay.
which
Not
I wasn't like full time, and I missed like 2 days.
bad. Oh,
well,
you're a stupid tire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. 1,500
Yeah,
for me is
it's-
pretty good.
yeah, it's not bad.
That's
So,
my average. I get 1,700 sometimes and 1,200 the worst.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think I made $39 an hour today for 7 hours, so I made $306 total
Yeah, you didn't
today.
even close today either. That's another.
I'm telling you, Rush. I understand this was a lucky thing, but even if
Yeah.
it wasn't a lucky thing, if I was working during
every time
Rush,
I work rush, I get
$40
shit
an hour.
towers, like ship tips.
What?
Every time I work rush, I have been getting
unlucky. He's been
the
very unlucky.
worst luck.
You got like 8 stiffs in a row on a.
Dude,
Sunday,
I got
right?
more than that
I've
because I
never,
counted
I've never
and I
had
write
more
it down
than
on
6
paper.
stiffs in a day.
I had 10 in a row, 10 stiffs,
That's a shitty day, man.
and the rest of the tips
on a
for
Sunday
that
too, by
day,
the way.
I made $38 in tips. That's plus cash.
No,
Sundays-
every rush shift that I do, I at least make more than $35, and in a lot of cases, I make $40 an hour for the 4 hours that I work.
Yeah.
Nope.
Sundays are my best days. It's weird
Nope.
that he got 10 stiffs in a row.
My
How many
worst
Sundays
days
have
have
you worked?
literally been Sundays.
How many times have
You
you
should've-
worked Sunday?
I've
Like-
worked every
Like you
Sunday.
have control.
So 4 Sundays? And you just shitty every time?
Yep, every time.
Maybe I'm just lucky. God's like, here you go, son.
Yeah, I
All
don't
the
know.
Tips.
Also,
Like-
Justin, did you know that you took my closing shift on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny
Oh,
too?
dude! I'm working like
Is
70 hours that week.
every that was the football game day, like the Seahawks played.
Oh yeah.
I got no tips.
I wonder why, because it wasn't that the
None.
one that Russell Wilson and the Broncos were playing against the Seahawks?
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't really care.
Monday was
but-
kind of dead for a football game. For football.
Oh,
day.
was it Monday? No. Well,
Seahawks
Monday,
was Monday.
Sunday, I only got like $40-something, and
Maybe this
I
Sunday.
worked a closing, and then Monday I got nothing.
Maybe this Sunday, since the Seahawks will be on Sunday now, because last week was Monday.
Yeah.
Well, it's also payday. anytime it's after payday, it's
Yeah,
typically pretty good.
we'll see. And I work 12 hours on Sunday, so
Yeah, so
Yay!
I don't want to work 1 o'clock to 1.
well, when does the football game
You technically
start?
don't work 1-to-1 on Sunday. Sunday closing is at midnight.
Austin, if the football game's at 1 p.m., you will have a good shift. If it's an earlier football game,
And there's
from what I remember, it's
There-
usually a lot of orders.
There's always a dead zone, and then it picks up
Yeah.
massively right toward the end because people are like, oh, okay, this game sucks. We need some pizza. Seahawks aren't
Feed our
doing very
depression.
good again.
Feed that depression.
Yeah.
I feel like it's before the game is when you're busy,
Mm.
and then it's
Right at the game, no.
right when
Too
halftime
focused.
happens.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
especially
let's get some pizza.
Well, because all the
Super Bowl.
commercials are playing. They get hungry and they're like, okay, what can we
Domino's?
get
Okay.
delivered here? Oh, we
Yeah.
live out in the buttfuck of nowhere? Well, there's 2 stores.
There's probably Domino's commercials for football too. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah, all the time.
No.
Also, what's funny is the boxes that we have for large and medium, they say to recycle the box, but anyone who works at a recycling plant will tell you if it has grease in the box, you can't recycle it, but they put that on the box anyway. Like, wonder how long that's going to be there for.
Domino's gets sued by the recycling place.
You could, or at least
Like,
get
fuck
talked to
you.
about it. I'm like, if I'm a driver and I know that information, and how the fuck did it slip by all of these supposedly smarter than me people?
Some smarter than us people are dumb as well, I think.
Common
Especially
sense.
Corporate,
Yeah,
anything
common
in
sense,
corporate,
stupid.
not always, but
Well, they overlook the simplest things, and because they don't know anyone that works in a recycling plant, they don't know if whether or not that's the case. But you'd think they would do some reconnaissance and ask or call some recycling place to be like, hey, is this appropriate to blah blah blah? Apparently not. Domino's doesn't give a shit. So
As they should.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've-
No,
I've-
it's been really shitty.
I've noticed,
lately.
like, I've watched Undercover Boss, and every time the CEO goes to the place, they realize, like, oh shit, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed around here. They don't understand it because they're never working with those people.
Yeah,
Corporate should be working our jobs too, so they can actually.
My
or at least come down to the store and see how it is.
Yeah.
And have it to
Understand.
where we can communicate with them,
Yeah.
just so that it's like,
That's-
hey, this is all the problems that
And I
we see here.
doubt that's only Domino's problem. That's probably multiple.
That's
places.
yeah, because what I see right now, the major problem is if I try to get something to go up the chain, it'll stop at the first or second person. It won't
Yeah.
make it all the way up to the owners. The only way to really do that is to go to the second person and ask for the details for the owners in a franchise, not corporate. And even if you do that, it's like they're not gonna look at your email. They have a million other emails to look at. It's
Yeah.
like come on.
You can call the office. I've
Yeah,
done it.
I'm sure you
I've done it
can.
first
I'm not
sometimes.
sure that's gonna work all that well. Anyway, when I leave, I've already written something up. A list of things that need to be done at the store. Not only like physical things that need to be done, like the door needs to be fixed, the Coke cooler needs to be fixed, the mini make line, the make line, all that stuff. Some of them are being fixed, but I will just put in like a little
there's a
caveat.
new
These things may be fixed by
grease
the time I
trap.
leave. But
They're replacing the grease trap.
after I told Caitlin that it needs to be replaced every 7 years, and then she finally told Brian that.
See, like I said, we know some shit they don't,
Yes.
even though they're probably smarter.
And
than
I'm
us
about to
in
give
the
them a
job.
list of things that need to be fixed.
He probably knows that
Yes.
part of that list.
And then in one part, it's all about, the problem that I presented. And then I basically said this or these reasons in this section, and it's just the bottom section that I'm leaving, I'm quitting. And I'm hoping that maybe if you're able to fix all of these issues, that maybe your most dedicated employees won't be disheartened too. I was like, I'm going to leave that on my
Also,
last
you
day.
working there for 5+ years helps hopefully them actually pay attention to your.
And I said that I've been working at that store for 5 years, and
Yeah.
it's not like I don't know anything, and it's not like I'm not hard worker kind of thing. But they wouldn't know because they didn't really see me work at all. Because I've seen
Brian?
the owners twice,
But Brian's seen you work probably.
yeah, maybe. And most of the time he's working on something else. He's either on pizzas or he's trying to fix something in the store. He's not really paying attention. He's just there to fix some smaller things, or put the floor stickiness thing down that
Which didn't work.
that didn't work.
I knew that wasn't going to.
Yeah, because
It
in
just
order to
didn't
make
make sense.
in order to make a ground do that, you gotta have something specific. You gotta make it coarse first in some way.
You gotta
Score the floor in some way.
You gotta come on it first.
Yeah. Well, you gotta wait for it to dry.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Or spill Pepsi on the floor. There you go.
Yeah.
Let it dry. and
That would
there you
work.
go.
Yeah, but then you mop it and then it's no longer.
Yeah. Well, just go mop.
But yeah, no. There's a list of things that I will include whenever I leave. And if Caitlin is watching this, now you know. I doubt it. She stopped watching most of our stuff and she's probably gonna unsubscribe. What a fucking loser. But Philip subscribed. I don't know if he's watching, but he subscribed, so
Since when?
when I closed with him last night.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I told him what time, so I'm not sure if he's actually gonna watch it, but he's like,
probably
wait,
sleeping.
wait, you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, a lot of random shit. And nothing in particular yet, because we haven't found ourselves yet.
Yeah.
We're lost in the abyss.
Well, it's a lot like with Joe Rogan. It's a little bit easier to talk about random topics because you always bring on a guest,
random
that
guest,
you can
yeah.
talk to, and you have like everything's new.
Maybe we could bring Phil.
And talk about what? I don't
Oh.
know. What would I talk to Phil about? What's it like being a family man? It's like I think I already know this at this point. Not only with my father, your father, and then just I guess everyone else I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
there's one last story I want to get to. So this was I think 2 years in. It was the first owner of the store. Justin, I don't think you were there. My wife wasn't there yet. And we get this person calling in, and they're immediately cussing out one of my coworkers. So the coworker hangs up. They ring again. Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of my coworker, they get Amy. Now, Amy is, I don't think this is disparaging against her in any way. She's a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
I
very,
didn't know that.
and she's not that Amy, different Amy.
Oh.
That's why I said you weren't there. She is very much the tough lesbian. And whenever the
Top.
customer called in,
Top.
top.
I said top. Yeah.
Top, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever the customer called in, she, in her very customer servicey voice, be like, I don't like the way that you're talking to me. Stop cussing me and maybe we will work something out. Hangs up. They call back. They start cussing. Hang it up. Call back. They stop cussing. Be like, all right, are you ready to act like an adult? Start cussing. Hang it up. And they're like, I'm going to come down to the store. Hangs it up. She's like, I don't care if they come down to the store. What are they going to fucking do? And I was like, yes.
Did they show up at all?
No, they didn't.
Ah.
And I'm like, even if they did,
They're
you don't think
cowards.
she would have fucking beat their ass?
Yeah. They're cowards.
Ugh.
Damn.
I mean, if you're off the sausage long enough.
That's honestly like I would love to be a manager just so I can do that kind of shit.
Yes. Just back up your employees and be
Mhm.
like a complete badass, even if
Yeah.
it means that you're going to lose your job.
Yeah.
Your employees are going to be like, man, what a legend.
Yeah.
You'll keep her employees. That's
But no, there was a different Amy manager that was also very rude to customers too at times, which was beautiful. But at one time she was on this different Amy, not a lesbian, as far as I know. She's on ovens, so she's dedicated to a certain task. And at this point, we have the drive-up window that is still fixed at this point. Eventually will break, but at this point,
I
have
like
someone
it
at the
broken.
drive-up window.
I'm
Yeah.
glad it's broken.
I-
Oh yeah, we do too.
Somewhat glad
So
it's
glad
broken too, because a lot of people just sit there because they got way too early, and then there's someone behind them that their order's ready, so you got to tell them to drive around, and they're not happy about it. But anyway, I have to tell this guy that his order's not ready, has to be remade. It should be ready in about 15 minutes, and he's like, I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. It's like, all right, I don't know what to do about this. So I'm walking to my manager and be like, hey, this guy said that he's not moving, he's not going anywhere. And she, in a very loud voice, says, well, if you don't tell them to go the fuck around, and if they don't move, I'm calling the cops. Walk over there. They heard everything. He's like, you tell that bitch. And I was like,
I remember this now.
I was like, I don't want to be the messenger. I just walk up to my manager. Yeah, this is what he said. You tell that bitch.
I fucking love that.
And when I come back around, he's like, sorry, man, I don't mean for you to be the messenger. I can see you're having a bad day. I'm like, thank you. You're helping me a lot, man. So he drives around. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. I get yelled at by not only you, but her too. Beautiful.
She probably went around just for you. Basically. She's like, I feel bad for you. I'm just going to go.
That was such a nightmare. I was like, oh, this is great. Get to the next customer, and it's a nice old couple. I'm like, oh, thank God. Change of
Well,
pace.
they probably heard it. They probably heard the whole conversation. They're like, oh, you sweet pea.
Oh, God. It was. I mean, I dealt with a lot of shit back in the day, but that was one of them. And then there was multiple customers that would walk in and be like, their food was made wrong or it's too cold. They show it to Amy, and they'd be like, your pizza looks fine. And like, I want a new one. And be like, I'm not giving you a new one. And then keep pressing and be like, leave.
No.
Okay, the problem was that she wasn't just mean to customers. She's also mean to my coworkers. And there was one time, I think I've already talked about this. I don't think on stream though, where every time before you start a shift, you have to get what is called a bank. It's about $20. Back in the day, it was $15. It's just cash that you carry on your person in case that someone wants change. We call it a bank for some reason. I don't remember when that started. That's just what it's always been called. And I asked Amy for my bank. She says she's a little bit busy right now, and there's quite a few orders that she can come back to her later. And I'm like, okay, fine. I take an order, and I come back and take another order, forget about it. Come back. I'm like, hey, Amy, do you have banks yet? And she's like, no, it's still a little busy. So I'm like, okay, take the order. I come back. Unfortunately, my next order was a cash order, which means that I definitely need a bank. I'm required to have one because if they hand me a 50 and the order is only $25, they're giving me a $25 tip or not getting the money. And if I had the change on me, they would be getting it, or they would be getting their food and giving me a $5 tip, I guess. And she says, or she tells me off about how she's busy. Can't you see that she's busy? And I tell her straight, I'm like, I've asked you 3 times now for a bank, and now I need one. What do you want me to do about this? Because I can't leave until you give me a bank. It's you, not me. You haven't given me the bank yet. I've made every effort. It is your job. And I stood up for myself. That one sucked because I knew that she treated everyone like shit, and I knew the second I did that, she would start targeting me. And I don't think she did. I can't remember if she did.
Do you know she got slapped in the face a couple weeks back?
I'm sure she fucking did.
Amy. I think... I don't know if you were there, but
she was infamous among even the people I delivered to.
Who's Amy?
Like I delivered
Amy
to someone
was a GM
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Technically, she was not a GM. She was someone who was sent by the owners to try to fix up a store after, let's say, bad management, or they just bought a new store and they want to make sure management goes smoothly as far as the transition.
She's still there?
No, she quit. I think a month ago. But she worked at a Canyon store, I think. And anyway, yeah, I delivered to this one person, and they said something about, is Amy still working? I'm like, no, she's not. And she's like, okay, that's good because she's a bitch. I'm like, okay. Didn't know she was that infamous. She's like, yeah, she was my neighbor, and she's just a fucking bitch. I'm like, why are you telling me this shit? What do you think I'm gonna send that back to her? Like, guess what? Your neighbor, it's not your neighbor anymore, but your used to be neighbor called you a bitch. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? I'm not gonna parlay that message.
That's funny.
Okay, she was mean to all of my coworkers except for the ones that were brown nosers. That was so annoying. There's this one coworker I have. Her name was Shar, and I don't care to say her name because she got on my fucking nerves. She was the laziest employee that I've ever seen that would boss you around and tell you what to do because she didn't want to do something. Like, this is what she would do. She was a closing driver at one point. She would, the second it reached, I believe it was like 11 o'clock, she'd go to the bathroom. She'd change into her street clothes. She'd walk out the door. Leave one driver and one manager to do all the tasks. And she wasn't fired. Because she was such a brown noser and a kiss ass that Amy liked her. And I was like, I'm never fucking closing with her because if I do, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My mom told me I can't use these hands on women, but I may change her gender today. Fucking.
I'm the one that replaced her. Whenever I started working there, she wasn't scheduled anymore to close.
She was.
Because even the manager didn't really like her. I think it was Megan. She didn't like her.
No.
Do you close next Sunday?
Yeah, I close almost every day next week.
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you work next Sunday?
No, I don't work weekends anymore.
Yeah.
Could you take my Sunday shift
No.
next week?
No.
That's him and her time. Him and Ashley time.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So it's tomorrow, but I get to
I
walk
was-
some puppies tomorrow.
Yeah.
I thought you both were gonna do that together. The puppy shit.
I didn't like it because you had to sign like a 6-month contract.
You didn't have to sign. You didn't sign it. Well, okay, electronically, really, technically, but it's not. Okay, I'm sure if you
You have to
explain
do
your
it
case,
for
you might not
6
have
months.
to. There was a clause
It's
in there that you
required.
had to at least do 4 hours a month for at least 6 months because they have to take out resources to actually train you and do all that stuff.
You have to do it for 6 months.
Yeah, so it's basically if I
What if you
started,
don't?
when did I start? I think late August, so I think it'd be like February or March. If you don't, I don't think anything bad happens, as far as I know. I don't know what they would do. What would they do?
Yeah,
Take legal action against you
Yeah.
for what?
Just
I don't
do
have
it.
money.
Just do it for 8 hours and be gone with it.
Yeah, I'll still probably stay because it's kind of nice.
Yeah,
I like
they're
walking
cute.
the puppies.
Yeah, but it's out in Auburn.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's about a 40-minute drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On a bad
I
day,
don't
it's
wanna
40
waste
minutes.
money where I'm not.
But you go
cool.
see some puppies.
I don't
You can walk some
I don't
puppies.
care.
He already has a
Heartless
Yeah, I have a-
bastard.
puppy.
I
You
have
don't
a puppy.
so it's a little bit nicer.
I have a puppy at home,
That is true.
so I.
But he's a fucking
big
nightmare.
yet? Is he big
He's
yet?
calmed down a little.
Is
Okay.
he full size yet?
No,
Okay.
No,
I haven't
he's
met-
he's
not at this time.
I haven't met
he's
your dog
pretty big.
yet.
He doesn't. He's chilling out a little bit more, so it's the cutest thing because he's only does certain things with me that he does with no one else in the family. Okay, not.
I mean, you're the only one with the PP, so.
I mean, it could be because I'm a man, but like not
Simon.
that.
Although, to be
Simon.
confirmed, because we don't know about your sister.
That's true.
Or Simon.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, I get, yeah. it's probably
Okay,
true.
the only like man
Small
in the
baby.
house,
Okay,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like every time I come home, he cries. He goes,
That's
and he like wags his tail, and he's like, it's
Daddy's
the
home.
cutest fucking shit. And then he also, only with me, he'll get so excited when he sees me, he starts dribbling pee. The only one, but he just starts like peeing just ever so slightly, so it just dribbles all over the kitchen like all over the kitchen floor. It's cute, but it's like, don't pee on my shoes, don't pee on my feet, don't pee on my feet. But it's adorable. So, yeah.
At least he's not like Lexi, our twin. His dog.
Our
he's
twin?
smaller than my twin. Our brother's what I'm gonna say.
Yes, Justin is not my only brother. I have another older brother that is Justin's twin.
Yeah.
And we're only separated by 357 days. Because I was born a year after them, 8 days before their birthday. My poor mom.
Damn, time flew. So
What?
it's almost been 2 hours already.
What? Oh, yeah, because we're talking about some sexy stories.
Some juiciness.
Yeah, but no, I did not like Char very much. She would try to command me to do things. I'm like, nope, you're not my manager. Get a manager to tell me to do it, and then I'll do it. Stop trying to tell me what to do because I know way you're doing it. You're telling me to do it, so you don't have to do it.
I
It's
need to
Suck dick.
reminding me. I need to sign up for somewhere to do my community service.
Goodwill?
Yep, that's where I'll probably go.
What if they have a 6-month thing too, and then now you're stuck?
I will find somewhere that just does the hours.
Well, you know, with our youth group, we did a vegetable thing for like 2 hours each
I mean, he could just go to church and be like, hey,
I need some.
I need
volunteer
8 hours of community service for
Job.
you know what.
for a
I
job
wouldn't go
like
to our old church.
No, no,
I would,
no.
I would
You would just go
choke
to a
out
local.
I would choke out
You-
the motherfuckers.
You would go to a local church where you would not commit sins.
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Also,
that they know what.
I don't know if you know this yet,
Hmm.
but our old youth pastor, who we don't like very much.
Is no longer with us.
No,
Wait.
no.
You got me so excited.
no. Anyway, he's no longer a
got you
youth
too hard.
pastor. Good news,
What?
right? He's no longer a youth pastor.
Did he
Good-
rape a child?
Good news. No.
Oh.
His wife, also
a
not a
child.
youth pastor anymore.
Did
Again,
they get fired?
good news, but not the end. No. She is now the kids pastor,
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
and he is the associate pastor. So he got a promotion.
Who's the youth pastor now?
I don't know. They're
You
trying to find
gotta
one.
be kidding
I'm
me.
not kidding you. And I saw it coming from a mile away. I'm like, okay, Tom's retiring. I'm like, oh boy.
Which
They got to fill
means-
that role with somebody. I'm like, well, their convenience tells me I know who it's going to be. And as far as I can tell, he has been
I liked
very
your answer way more.
he he had been very aggressive, but as far as like from what I could tell, very aggressive trying to go up the rank. Not only getting allegedly getting a previous youth pastor fired or forced to leave, but now it's like, okay, I can see what's going on. Not only will he probably be, or he is now the associate, he will probably be the one that replaces Pastor Dave.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I think that's, I'm like, oh, here we go.
You still go there, right?
Yeah, okay.
Recently did.
I
Going
hadn't been
once.
going for like 3 or 4 months. And then at Domino's, I saw someone who was from Puyallup. Not a bad guy. I don't think you remember who he is. He was with, what is it called? It's like the place where they house pregnant women and women that have recently given birth kind of thing. As far as I could tell, nice
Cemetery?
guy. I didn't really talk to him very much. And after that, I was like, okay, yeah, fancy coincidence, whatever. And it started getting me thinking about church again. And then my wife and I went to one of the Safeways because we were going there to deposit some cash at the bank because it's the closest one we can go to. And after we're done, we decided to get some things. Wasn't planned at all. Got some things, paid for it. And as we're walking out, I see Brian K. So Matt's dad. Or
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and I'm like,
I
what?
saw someone from our old church today.
and I'm
driving.
like,
Nice.
what are the fucking odds that my wife and I come down here on a day we didn't plan, get something else that we didn't plan? I'd already saw someone previously from the church, and I also saw Brian.
Brian doesn't live that close to Puyallup either.
No, this wasn't Puyallup. So this one, it's like, we keep saying names of towns, Justin. Damn it. I'm not gonna say the town, but anyway, it's a Safeway close to us, but not the one that we normally go to. So I was like, okay, I think I know what's going on here. If someone's praying for me to, go back to church, I don't know who it is. It could be my mom. It could be anybody. I don't care who it is. But you know how
I'm not going back to church.
well, that's up to you. But I know how God works, and I know that He uses people, even if they don't necessarily know that they're being used in that way. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go as a courtesy to whoever was praying for me. I'm gonna go to church, and then maybe I'll give them like sign of hope, because at least then I can do something good for somebody, even if I don't know who they are. So I went, and of course it was this day that I got to learn about new information about who's taking what leadership role and where the church is going. And I was like, okay, I was like, this is a great day. Is this why you wanted me here? You want to torture me further? No. Yeah.
I really want to go there. Like, I do want to go back and just make Jared.
There's no one there anymore.
No, I just want to make Jared so uncomfortable.
I don't know if you could, man.
I could.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, I could.
And to be honest, I don't know if it would be him. I think it would be his wife. I really don't think.
Oh, if she went up to me, I just wouldn't acknowledge her.
She doesn't. She doesn't acknowledge me, so she wouldn't acknowledge you either.
Well, maybe because I've been gone a long time. She'd be like, "Oh my God, Austin!"
From the time I graduated from the youth group, she did not acknowledge me. She didn't talk to me. She didn't say hi. She didn't look at me. And if she did glance at me, she would look away and she would walk away, or she would do something else, or she'd talk with somebody else. It's like, oh, come on. It's like, you've got to be fucking. What the fuck did I do to any of these people?
I would raise a scene, honestly. If that's one reason why I haven't gone back, I would have no problem speaking my mind.
There's
that day.
Maybe tops 50 people in second service. Tops. From what I remember.
That's
50 people. And it used to, yes.
Oh.
Including pastor, youth, like not youth, but the band, everybody. About 50 people. And there's a reason for it. It's not just because people, well, not only did people stop going, but for second service, they just played the recording of the first service there for some time. So most people got used to just going to first service. So there's probably still about 200 people that go to first service, but they're all, the average age is probably about 55, 60. So it's like, yeah, well, I can see what's going on in this church for the most part. The only time that the age drops any or the attendance goes up is, baptisms occur. So that brings in all the families of the people being baptized, or what's another thing? Holiday like Easter or Christmas or something like that. But no, it's really depressing to go to second service. Although I did see Jake.
He goes now again?
I saw him. I don't know if he goes, but I saw him there.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well.
I thought you got.
Yeah, I thought so too. And maybe he did for a time. I don't know. There's a lot of, even though some of the rumors may be true, because I know some of them are, doesn't mean that all of them are. Yeah. So I have no idea. If I can't verify it, I tend to say, well, I don't know. Sounds interesting, but I don't know. But I do know of one that was real, because not only did my brother confirm it, because he was close to both the pastors that were responsible for what happened, and then
what are we talking about?
The previous youth pastors were basically run out of the church.
Oh yeah.
So that was confirmed to me by Austin, because he was close to both, and then it was confirmed to me by my parents because they were upset about it. And it was, as far as I know, there was one time where I'm not gonna say, main pastor talked about a decision he had made that he has since regretted on stage and everything. And I was like, I think I know who he's talking about here. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what happened here.
When did our pastor say that?
I don't remember. It was one of the times I kind of randomly went to church, which has been pretty common. I just haven't. I don't know. I haven't gotten enough courage to go to one of the local churches, because it's like you show up, you're tired, and you're a new face. So you know what happens in a church when you're a new face? You get bombarded by everybody. Yes.
It's like,
or you get the happy-go-lucky person. Nothing against them, but you're tired, and they're like, "How are you doing? Are you doing good?" Like, they're trying to be inviting, but a little bit too much.
They're the welcome group.
They're the welcome group, and it's like,
See,
I delivered to a church on Sunday one time, and they're like, you should come and join us one day. I was like, oh, I already got a church. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I was like, I deliver pizzas, and you want me to? Okay. It's just going to service.
I just have that face that's not inviting.
Yeah.
For people to come up and talk to me, even if someone's a greeter, I just look at them and there's like,
you would know it's the right church if you have like a biker walk up to you and be like, "How you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
"I'm welcome here. Woo! Let's go."
I'd be like, well, our church had a lot of bikers.
That is true. They're all old though.
Yeah, not our age.
Okay, so Lee's fine. I like Lee.
Yeah.
oh yeah, Lee's
Nothing
awesome.
against Lee.
He's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah, Lee's awesome.
Cool dude. Lisa, a bit overbearing. Not overbearing, but she does not understand personal space very well, I've noticed. She will hug you and she will hold you until you're just so uncomfortable, and she'll just talk in your ear while she's hugging you, like, okay, I'm good. I don't need it anymore. Okay.
She hasn't had any kids, has she?
No, she has not.
Maybe that's why she hugs so long. It's like, I wish I had a
Yeah.
child like you.
Well, and it's not only that. Okay, she was there whenever we were like 6 and 7 years old.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, she did see us when we were young. I understand why she does what she does. She also does it to mom too, and I love what mom says. She's like, I love Lisa and all.
A lovely what?
I love Lisa and all, but she won't let me go.
That's funny.
Now there's some people that when I go, I'm happy to see. Like the bars still go there. I'm still happy to see them.
That's who I saw
Mm-hmm.
today passing.
Yeah.
I do like them.
And like good people. They've
I
always
believe
been
it's the
good to
bars.
me. Yeah.
I wish they were pastors.
It was the people of
I don't think
That'd
they can
cool.
be.
Yeah, no.
Alex?
Legally, no.
the parents of Alex, who
Oh.
taught
George.
who taught
Gregory.
no,
Gregory
who
and-
taught quiz.
Alex?
What are you talking about? There's no one who taught quiz.
You're talking
Quiz.
about Reeves?
Alex.
The Reeves? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gregory's the dad. And
Oh, okay, Greg is the
the
dad.
mom is something.
And their social security is
Yeah.
And this is where they live as well.
But
yes.
yeah, I saw them today. Apparently, they live in this area.
Yeah, they do.
Some
Yeah,
of them do.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure some of them do not.
Wait, I'm thinking of someone else.
Because
It was
know
in the
Taylor?
area, like they were going.
Taylor and their parents.
Because their eldest had passed away. 4 years ago?
Taylor?
No.
Oh, Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we say all the names.
Why do you always call him Gregory?
That's just their last
I
name.
don't think that's his first name.
That's their last name.
His name is not
The
Greg.
Gregory family is what I was going to say.
What?
What?
Their last name's not Gregory.
Wait, no, yeah, his name.
His
Sorry,
name
now
is
I'm
not.
fucking my own
His
brain up.
name's not Greg.
No?
No.
It
I
starts
know
with
it's
a
not
G.
Greg. It doesn't sound right to me.
I'll look it up on Facebook.
Go for it.
Isn't he dead?
Don't.
No.
No, the eldest died because he.
I mean,
Cremated.
your dad
Yeah.
is still on Facebook.
Yeah. He haunts everybody. Make
Yeah.
him look close.
That'd be
Yeah.
weird if like he posted one. Like, hi from heaven.
Or hell, one or the other. You know. Just played a game about being in hell. It was kind of fun.
I told you.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I got
Yes.
the G right.
Yeah. Make sure to say his middle name too, so everyone knows.
Let me see if I can find
Everyone knows where he is on Facebook.
it. Oh, he has a
But
Seahawks
no.
symbol and everything.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
I'm such an asshole. Oh, he's
Yeah.
friends with your dad.
And
Wow, they have so much in common. They're both dead.
You guys want to see his face?
but no. But no, there are still people there at the church that I really do enjoy seeing still, but it's a handful. And I don't like going to first service just because not only my schedule is the opposite of being able to go to first service, but it's like it's a lot of people I don't know. And what I've come to know, not only because of my constant brain fog all the time, it's not only hard to find words, but hard to have a conversation with people that I won't instigate a conversation. I'll wait for them to instigate one so I can kind of get where the rhythm's going to be. Just because I can't function that well,
I feel
especially
like
in a
I
larger
just
group.
have unfinished business there at our old church. Like I need to speak my mind to Jared.
It'd probably be better to do that. Oh. I'm trying to see where that would be better.
I really
I think that would be better to do
I-
outside of the church because the
No.
reason being,
I really want to call him out in front of everybody. And I want him to know
Okay, I get that.
what he's done to me. Everyone to know
yeah.
to a child what he's done. Not just to me.
He
multiple-
touched me
Multiple
in
kids.
multiple ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I want that because I feel like that's not even the amount of justice that deserves.
It's not just him.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah, there's multiple families that he did that
You
to.
want to know what I think would probably be better? Because if what
That
I
would just-
perceive to
Sweet
happen in
hand
the
of
future,
justice.
if I perceive about what's going to happen in the future with this church, I can foresee
It's cult.
that
It's gonna turn into
no,
a
no.
cult.
I can foresee that He will not be the pastor of a church of hundreds. He will be the pastor of a church with tens, maybe, because he is so, at this point, I can even say this, very divisive, very self-centered.
Yep.
Only cares about his job, not about people. That it will show, especially when you're a lead pastor. When you're a lead pastor, every single one of your flaws shows brighter than anything else. And when you're trying to follow trying to follow in the footsteps of a previous pastor, that makes it 1,000 times worse, regardless of what the previous pastor was like, because everyone is watching you on everything.
I want to go there and just call him out.
I'm still saying I don't think he will get that far.
Kicked out by someone that's armed.
But see, I don't care because most likely I will be. But here's the thing: I will most likely be armed too.
That'd be a fun video to see, to be honest.
Well,
I will be armed as well.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that just to be like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
Because I would probably ride my motorcycle down there, and every time I'm on my motorcycle, I have my sidearm with me.
Well, yeah, that's probably smart.
So, but I just want him to know what he's done to affect the way of youth and the way of like I that was like part of my hardest time too, and the church was like, you know, a part of my life, a big part of my life, and I lost everything at once. So
that's exactly how I felt. Second I graduated, it felt like
you were
they didn't care about you. It's
outcast.
Just
Immediately,
it's like get the fuck out.
The day after, it's like you're out. Like we're just shunning you. But I got it real bad though.
Yeah.
So to everybody, even in the youth group, it was like they almost like told everybody, "Hey, don't talk to the graduators."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said that, or in some way that had to have happened because
right afterwards,
after graduation Sunday, so this was probably July after I graduated. No,
you
September
graduated-
after I graduated.
You graduated
a year after
me.
Yes. So I was still going to be involved in quizzing as a coach or as that. So I had to walk in with Dave Barr. I had to walk in with him to basically, you know, he's going to present something, and then after he's done, we're all going to walk to that. Yep. When I walk in the room, now I can engage a room very well. Very well, for the most part, unless I'm not paying attention. But most of the time I can engage a room really well, especially if it's people that I know. Mm-hmm. I walk into this room and I feel like I don't belong. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't be here. Like, I could even like feel that from people. Like, I'm like reading their minds kind of thing. Like, they look over and they immediately look forward.
Yep. I'm
like, okay, that's interesting. And then there was like a group of guys that I was a little bit closer to. They're a little bit younger than me. I'm like, hey, I was like, hey, fuck all you, kind of thing. But no,
like I went up to everyone that I grew up with, and I was all close with, and then no one talked to me. Yeah. No one looked at me. Nothing. And I actually talked. Everyone just talked over me. And I was the only one talking because someone mentioned something, and and I said something. No one looked at me, and I was like, and then I just walked away. And then I came back a few other times, past Jared. I was like, hey Jared, how are you? Just walk past me.
I've had that moment too.
Okay,
I've had that moment too.
Interesting.
At Austin's wedding that we had here.
Oh, dude, if I was there...
Yeah, I know you would have lost your shit. But anyway, at the wedding...
Did you say how he was in front of everyone as well? I forget.
What?
Did you do it while you're just one-on-one with him, or was it everyone at the wedding?
Pretty much one-on-one. So he just shown up, and I'm like, hi, Jared, and I went to go shake his hand. And instead of saying, probably shouldn't because at this time it's COVID, that's kind of stuff, he just didn't acknowledge. I was like, okay. And I think I even said that. Okay.
Yeah. Why was Austin so special? He graduated, but yet
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
It's because he could use them.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, Jared Austin told me this after I graduated. He was like, "Hey, Jared wants me to have you, be a leader here." And I said, "Fuck no." I was like, fuck no.
He could ask me himself.
Well, not
was
only
like-
that, but
No.
after I graduated, I think I did. It's not VBS, Camp Extreme, whatever the fuck it was called. Did the fourth, fifth, and sixth graders. So you'd always traveling everywhere, and that's typically where Jared and Stephanie were because they had a kid, so they'd bring them along, and they could drive one of the vans, and that's the other reason why they were there. But no, it just felt like every conversation I had. You know how you get a feeling sometimes in a conversation that the person you're talking to doesn't want to talk to you.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like.
They're looking away. They're looking around.
Yep.
They're keeping it short answers. They're only kind of asking about some personal questions, but not really talking that much about anything. And then, luckily enough, there's enough leaders there that I know. Like Zach was there, Kay, so Brian's son. He was there, and we were talking a lot. And I was like, okay, at least I find somebody to talk to because
Yeah.
apparently you're mature enough to talk to me, whereas I have a problem talking with anybody else. And the worst thing about it is I never really struggled with overly thinking about whether or not what I'm saying or doing is socially awkward, because I find that even if I am or embarrassing myself in some way, I'm helping someone who has some kind of social anxiety, because if they can see that I can deal with it and be the idiot, and as long as they're not as dumb as me, they feel like they're a little bit more welcome. I did that in school all the time, college.
I can tell you right now, you or Austin were not socially awkward at all.
Okay, thank
At
you.
least with quizzing, I can tell that.
It wasn't until I graduated and felt that moment in that room that every conversation I had from then on, I felt socially awkward. I felt like I couldn't talk with anybody without feeling like I shouldn't be talking to them in some way, or that I'm just talking about myself too much. I just, for some reason, from that time on, I overthought every conversation I've had.
They may have treated you as like a leader in a way where you talk all the time, so they expect you just to kind of keep them entertained. So maybe that's why.
No,
'Cause
this
you and Austin were bigger talkers than you.
this
That I
was
noticed.
okay. Yes, I was technically a leader for quizzing, but when I
What
walked
I meant by
in,
leader, as in like they treat you as someone that will talk more, basically. That's what I meant by that.
maybe not. I
Leader
doubt
in
it, because
conversation.
the
Leader in
conversations I was having with them before I had graduated were complete 180 different. Like, it was the second I graduated, 180 flip.
Wow.
And what sucked too is that year, I mean, you guys had like a proper send off. Everyone came around, told you goodbye, like had good luck with life kind of thing. Didn't have that.
Oh.
The last event that I was able to go to as a student was summer camp. So the second I got back from that, it's like, oh, I was just with them. Like, I had no conclusion there. I had no closure there. And then after that, everyone that was in our age group, which was 20 people in my age group,
That might be why they didn't do it.
20 people in my age group, didn't ever see them again. No closure there. Because if we had had that last date, we at least say goodbye to one another, have good luck, have fun in life.
Yeah.
But because of that lack of closure, from that moment on, it felt like I lost something, and it just stuck with me. And probably one of the sources of the depression, like I've talked about earlier. But, and it sucks too, because grew up in the church. Pretty much, first memories are in the church.
Yeah, I want to say some things that I can't say on camera. But I have a lot of hate in
Let's
my
go,
heart
Brandon.
towards that church.
I remember when FJB used to be fuck Justin Bieber, and now it means something completely different.
Yep.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. But no, it sucks, because all it takes is either one set of people or one
fucking
person
retard
and
to
one
ruin it all.
thing to just poof, everything that you loved about a certain place gone.
Yep.
Because every time you see them, it's a reminder of what they did, and
Yeah.
it's like, God, I hate that. Especially when the people that were basically forced out of the church, they're really good. They're really nice. For the most part, they were busy, but they would actually try to figure out what's going on in your life, and they seemed pretty interested. They were more interested in people.
Yeah.
I remember I talked to my dad about this, and he said, don't take it as if it was your fault. It's not your fault. And he said, pretty good piece of advice. There are people who work in the church, pastors and all, that do it for the job, and there are those that do it because they love people.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't tell me which one. He believed that this person that I
Our
was
dad
talking
said
about,
that?
our dad, yes.
What?
And I was like, I know which one they are then.
Yeah.
Because, and I had a stark contrast between the ones that were kicked out and the ones that remained. The ones that were kicked out, actually, they showed up to certain games that were outside. They didn't get paid to do that. They just went because they were trying to be involved and try to make sure. And that's why the youth group got so big under the, not only because of my age group, probably, but because they actually started to care about people and they tried to bring more people in. Hold on.
Because they actually love us.
Because they actually loved people and they loved us, and you could feel it. Not the other way around. The only time that you ever felt anything is when they were on the clock. And when they weren't on the clock, they may go to a game or two, but it was only to specific people because they were very cliquey.
You know what's crazy? Like, our old youth pastors before the fucking retards, that's putting it lightly, they would come to my sporting events just because.
And sometimes they'd be like, "Hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. Do you want to get coffee somewhere?" Like they were always constantly trying to find a way to, keep up
involved.
with you and try
Even
to
I get
make you
messages
feel welcome
from them every.
Because to be honest,
time.
that is kind of in their job description. Maybe they don't get paid for it, and maybe they don't get anything for it, but that is a part of their job. Hold on, I think I'm gonna have to buy new headphones.
It'd be cool to like meet them again as like a group.
Yeah.
No,
that
I
would be
was
nice.
I was actually gonna mention that we should get together with our old
And you want to
youth
know
pastors.
why I infinitely respect them more? Is even after all of that happened, treachery, we can call it that much. They didn't say a damn thing.
Yeah.
They preferred that the unity of the church would remain intact, even if it meant that they had to take that with them. I respect that a lot more, and I would not expect it from the current people we are talking
How did
about.
our mom and dad know about that situation? Is it just
You know how
because
close they
they're-
are with Tom,
Yeah.
Pastor Dave,
So
how
Tom and
close they
Dave
are
talk to them?
with Jared and
Yeah,
Stephanie.
which
So
I do. I know that, but did Pastor actually tell our mom and dad? about
Mom
that?
finds out a lot of shit.
Well, she's a talker. There's a lot.
She's a and a gossiper.
Yeah.
She finds out a lot of shit. Not only that, she cannot keep a secret to save her life. If you want something to be known, tell my mom that you're telling her a secret.
But do you think our mom got that from the pastors?
I don't know where she got it from, but
Okay.
even if the source she got it from wasn't necessarily strong enough, I believe that she's a good judge of character. That's what I've known. If I'm like, this is a good person, and she's telling me no, it's a bad person, I'll find out in a couple months that was a bad person, because my mom is very good at judging people.
I feel like most moms are.
Yeah, that's true. They got to protect.
Yep. They just see through the bullshit.
Most importantly, they attack.
Yes.
I know they work up in like really far north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North of Bellevue.
I think he's a teacher now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
He used to be. Oh, he was a school bus driver there for a second, and now I know how much they make. So I'm like, oh, good for you. Of the drivers, I think it's about 22, 23 an hour. It's not bad, and it's got pretty good benefits. And then he eventually started teaching. So I don't know what she did in the end.
She broke her wrist again.
Yeah,
so-
she broke a few
She is
other
so
things.
fragile.
I know.
She is so fragile.
Mhm.
Like, you know why she broke the wrist the first time?
Didn't she fall?
Okay,
On
they were
ice.
in a Rambler, which is a single-story house, and there's only one step, and that's the step from their front ledge down to the sidewalk. She tripped over that, and she had things in her arms, so she just instinctively tried to make sure that it wouldn't fall out, and she landed right on her wrist. And she was holding a Bible at that time, which is kind of funny. I
Can't
was like,
drop the Bible.
yeah. I was like, well, I mean, good for you for not dropping a Bible and, desecrating our Lord, but
I've dropped the
you didn't give a
Bible on
shit
accident.
about your wrist.
I've dropped a Bible like where there's other kids
Yeah.
our age around, and I just kind of look around like that's kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing.
But
Good old days.
I think they would meet with us though if we did that.
oh yeah,
Probably.
they probably would.
Whenever we have time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'd have to do that before I leave. Fly all the way back here. Be like, yeah, you want to meet? Sure. I'll fly all the way back to
Washington.
Washington.
That'd be cool to get a full day where we all get it off and then just go up
Yeah, make sure to turn that off. It's yeah, there it is. I know, we were talking about delivery stories and then we got into church politics, which is fun to talk about, I guess, but
Yeah, it is. But
yeah, I guess when we go to Texas, we're of course I'm forced to find a church to see which one we would go to. I think the problem that I'm gonna have is because of how much I know. I think that may count against me. Actually, it might help because if there's a pastor in there that I know is not correct in some way, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to go here.
The first thing they say, "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah. Yeah.
I still wouldn't want to go there either.
No, I wouldn't, because it's no longer about, okay, pastors can talk about the times. They can talk about the politics of the times. They can talk about all that stuff. In fact, I think it should be encouraged. But to actively partake in something like fuck Joe Biden, no. It's like, nah, gone. Or a lot of churches too that have a problem, like the Joel Osteens of the world, is they do prosperity preaching, which is
I can't stand Joel Osteen.
I can't stand prosperity preaching. So prosperity preaching, for those of you who don't know, is whenever a pastor says, if you tithe, good things will happen to you. In some way, God will bless you through your tithe. So the more you give, the more blessings you will receive. That is a lie. That person is not a pastor. They're a false prophet. Should not be listened to at all. They're only doing it because of money. You give them money. God gives you this. It's a testament to, throughout all of time. Priests back in the day used to do that all the time. They'd hand out favors in order for certain IOUs or money. So it's like, okay, this is a trick as old as time. So if I see that at all, any inkling of that at all, now it's not like, okay, we have a tithe and blah, blah, blah. But if it starts to go into like you will, it'd be better for you kind of thing, then I'll be like, no.
Doesn't your mom go to a political church?
I don't know.
Doesn't she have like
She switches churches.
Doesn't she go to like a well, not Bible group, but like a history group? I remember one day
She goes to so many things.
I was so tired and I wanted to be
know.
so polite, but she kept talking to me about this new group that she had, and I stepped on her toes. I said the wrong thing. I said, and this is from the knowledge that I've gained so far, that Benjamin Franklin, of all of the founding fathers, was the most agnostic. She did not like that at all. We got a comment, by the way. I don't know from when.
100%. Oh, it's 100% true. That sounds familiar.
I don't know. We got a comment from him. I don't know at what point.
What happened to social distancing?
Social distancing.
I know this person. I remember this being someone we knew.
I don't know who it is. I mean, whoever it is. What do you mean? What happened to social distancing? To social distancing.
Well, it looks like they're not watching.
Yeah. Probably with the wedding.
Oh.
That's what I'm guessing.
Well, that was recent, though. That was like hella recent.
Okay.
Yeah,
if that was about the wedding, so the wedding was done during COVID, and yes, okay, whatever. Social distancing is not a science-based system. There's never been any report, either in the CDC or otherwise, protocol that people should socially distance because of a virus. That has never been a thing. The 6 feet rule is not true. You want to know who made that up? A random fucking college student made that up. 6 feet is a completely obligatory number that was thrown out, and now we were told for 2 years, social distance 6 feet. Okay? That was a lie. Much as everything that happened during the pandemic was a fucking lie, because all they care is control. Same thing with the masks. Yeah. How many fucking countless studies are coming out that cloth masks or anything up to N95 doesn't work, including N95 for all of you that wear the duck-shaped.
Like a shit ton of people wear masks.
Yes, it is unscientific, and in fact, I would say that it is worse for people to wear masks because you are breathing in the same shit every single day. You don't wash your mask. Most people don't wash their mask. Yeah. And even if you cough into your mask, now that bacteria is sitting right on your face, that's not good. It'll never be a good for healthy people to wear. Yeah, that is true. But it's just absurd. A lot of the just protocol-based fake science that came out during that pandemic just because people were afraid. that's going to always happen. Whenever there's a major catastrophe, there's always going to be news that comes out that you have no idea is true, because let's say there's a bombing downtown. You're going to get a million reports of who did it before you actually figure out what the bomb was or where it was, because there's going to be people out there that are constantly going to say all these things because it's popular and people are afraid, and they're going to say random shit. That's the same thing during the COVID-19 pandemic. They had no idea what the fuck they were doing.
And COVID's been around for...
Okay, not COVID-19, but other coronaviruses, yes.
Other coronaviruses, but...
3 years.
Yeah. So...
Well, no, other coronaviruses have been around since pretty much the dawn of humanity.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is just referring to a virus that has crown-like appendages like the spike protein. That's all it means. It's crown virus, I believe. And most of them are animal to human, meaning that it had to mutate. Okay, it first infects animals, and then it mutated at one point to skip to humans. That, in nature, occurs so rarely that just a random chance that in a wet market someone bought a bat that now they're infected with coronavirus. It's like, okay, that's a bit strange, because this virus is upper respiratory. If they bought it at a wet market, the bat has been dead before they consume it. If the bat has already been dead, then how the fuck did they get infected?
So do you think the person that first got the virus
was in a lab.
only person?
I can damn well assure you it was in a lab.
I wonder how many lives that he topped anything that I could ever do.
Well, you could go in a lab and do shit too.
Not only that, he couldn't say shit because the Chinese government would
kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he breaks every score known to man.
That's actually not true. You know how many people died during the pandemic globally? I believe just about 1 million. Maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay, but I'm talking one person started this.
And the other thing too is
so
there's so many comorbidities that existed alongside of COVID, people dying, and the numbers were so falsely reported.
Well, yeah.
Like there were people that died with a shotgun blast to the chest. They tested them for COVID and they died of COVID. That's how they reported it, because they were getting money for it.
I mean, my dad technically died of COVID because...
Even though technically it was a pneumonia infection.
It was pneumonia. Yeah. And, well, it was... Okay, if we want to get technical, it was heart failure.
Heart failure as a result of lack of oxygen due to pneumonia.
Yes. So, and all the shit that they were doing to him.
So his heart became hypoxic, and that caused his heart to fail.
Well, I don't know if you ever saw his skin or like his body when he was still alive. And I know
I didn't see him because they didn't let anyone in. This is a year after the fucking pandemic started, and they wouldn't let people in.
But
that fucking aggravated me.
Well,
it still aggravates me to this day.
We only got to see him like the day before.
Well, yeah, and that's not fair. It's like, oh, come on.
It was like a year and a half after.
Okay, who are you protecting by not allowing the family to come in and mourn over their loved one who may die? Like, you're a fucking evil person if you do that.
So imagine like someone putting an air pump into your body and aired them up, like their skin, everything. That's what he looked.
So he just basically had depression sickness or decompression sickness.
Did you push on his skin and it would go in?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the bends almost. The gas is trying to escape through the skin.
Yeah, he got air trapped through his body.
That makes me think they put it in his mouth wrong.
No, they did it right.
That's
but
just what happens.
The problem when you do pure oxygen for that long, you're not supposed to. And by that time,
and there's
even
no way
I'm not a doctor. Even I knew that the ventilators that they were putting people on were not doing any better.
Well,
in fact, in some cases,
kill people.
They proved that the ventilators was making it worse, because not only are you forcing pure oxygen into the lungs, are basically forcing the lungs to breathe without them having to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nowhere for the virus to escape. So if the person can't kill the virus that is currently in the body, it can't escape anywhere. So the viral load builds, damages more blood vessels, damages more of the lung tissue, and then, shocker, they die, because there's nowhere for the virus to go except into the bloodstream, into these capillaries, and into the lung tissue. So it's like, no shit. I think the other problem, and I'm not sure that they did this with you, the other problem I had is they started giving people bronchodilators to help them breathe.
I'm not sure.
That's a problem. There's a reason that's a problem. Yes, it's difficult to breathe when your bronchioles are that size instead of that size. That is a problem. But what's more of a problem is your body is doing that intentionally. It is causing inflammation because it's trying to kill virus, and it's also trying to prevent more virus from getting into a more risky organ to be infected. That's your lungs. When you force it open with a bronchodilator, not only is there still inflammation and it's harder to breathe, but now the virus is going deeper into the lungs, causing pneumonia.
Yeah.
They should not have done bronchodilators. They should have been a little bit smarter about it. From the very beginning, doctors just didn't think at all. They were told what to do and they didn't fucking think.
Didn't he get pneumonia before he went to the hospital?
No, in the hospital.
He got it in the hospital.
Like early on or later?
Yeah, he got it early on.
Yeah.
So.
Was he on oxygen at all? Whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because he refused. They wanted to intubate him immediately. When he stepped in, he could still breathe on his own. He was just having trouble breathing. He could still breathe, though.
He refused.
And he refused, and they kept forcing it on him. He was like, no, no, no. And then they just kept making him worse and making him worse. And then eventually, they didn't, necessarily give him a choice. And, yeah. And then here we are, and I'm fatherless. So I would love to come after so many people. Honestly, if I'm ever...
What did you personally see?
What?
Because I want a little bit more information because it helps me out a lot to have more information. What did you personally see when you were in there as far as how the nurses acted, how the doctors acted, what they did when they were in there, how they explained things to you or your mom?
Did they look burnt out?
In a way, okay, don't explain such detail that you're giving out personal information. I don't want that.
With me, they just kind of explained what's going on inside him.
Okay.
They just kind of
But they didn't tell you what they're doing.
No. They didn't tell me. They were telling my mom, kind of, what was going on. But we didn't really ever get to talk to the doctor. I never met the doctor. I never saw him. I don't think my mom did either.
Okay. So
because there was two, I believe, on that floor. There was one actual doctor.
Okay.
Not
PA and or nurse practitioner, no PA and no resident.
Yeah. So just straight doctor. I think there was one for the whole floor.
And there's that one gay doctor too,
Yeah. So. Yeah, they didn't really have a clue what they were doing. And then when we were talking to...
And this is a year into the pandemic. This isn't like day 2, a month after. This is a year after, and they still didn't know what to do. That tells me that the doctors were not making the decisions.
Yeah.
People higher than them were making decisions about what procedure to follow.
Mm-hmm. No, because
of that, now the doctors are like, I don't want to lose my license. I'm just going to step back, whatever you say. Mm-hmm. And because of this, now people's ability to receive proper health care is out the window. Because let me tell you, the people that make the procedure have no idea what the human body is or how it works. I barely do, but I know more than they do in the human body.
Unless it is for surgery or stitches, I'm never going to the hospital. I don't care if I die at home. I'm not leaving that up to the fucking system.
Yeah, not them. If you found a hospital,
if
let's say
I found an actual hospital, an actual one.
Yeah.
Okay, Tacoma General, they're way better.
Yeah.
But they're still not the best.
Yeah.
But
they also deal with a lot of druggies too.
With my accident, they treated me very well.
That's good.
So they did outstanding work, honestly, with my accident. And they treated me pretty well, and yeah. And I mean, I got injured during the pandemic too, so only one person per day was able to see me, but at least they were able to see me.
Yeah.
At one point, 2 of us could see you.
No, it was just one.
It was.
I was there, so I know.
Wasn't it?
2 people.
I think it was. Okay.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of Jake. Damn it.
I think it may have been 2 per day, but you had to switch. Like there was only one.
It was one.
Okay.
For me at the time, because they could only allow one person per day, and it was funny because Seth came in before my family ever saw me, so he got to see me the first time.
Yeah.
They were like, okay, probably one of his friends, that would probably be better than us right now.
Yeah.
have that. But yeah,
He's not doing good. He lost a nut.
yeah, I lost a lot more than that. I lost my
only-
dignity.
He's only half a ginger now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the hospital was interesting. Like everyone at the hospital down in whatchamacall where my dad was. I'm not gonna say it. Well, actually, you know what? I kind of want to say it because
I don't
sue
think
'em.
they could sue you
Because
because you wouldn't be
Freedom
incurring
of
any
speech.
you wouldn't be incurring any damages on them, and everything that you're saying, even if found. I don't think they could find it liable because in order to do that, they would have to prove that you had malice or malicious intent to spread information about that. That is hopefully untrue, but to you,
But-
you understand to be
Defamation would be
true.
the only
anyways, the
They wouldn't come after
the
you. Is what I'm
hospital,
saying. Because they wouldn't win shit. I
Good
don't
say,
think.
I'll do it for you.
yeah, Good Sam Hospital is
There's a lot of those.
the worst
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I can tell you that for sure.
hospital. Don't
My wife's
yeah.
father works there. My sister used to work there. I volunteered there.
Teague
All of
was-
us, when we talk with one another, we come to an agreement that is not a good hospital.
Yeah.
We know all the problems around that hospital, not only ER, but with
Yeah,
her dad. He knows all of the
I
problems of
still
the
have,
hospital.
like a little bit of anger, not gonna lie, with my mom of taking him there.
Yeah, but I don't
Um,
necessarily blame her because how was she supposed to know what was
Okay,
going to happen?
but
She didn't know.
I refuse to go to that hospital.
yeah.
I don't care if if I'm in an accident. I was so glad that I had my accident out there because they took me because I was in the range of Tacoma General. So they took me to Tacoma General, not fucking retardville. So yeah.
Well, they probably took you there because Good Sam couldn't take care of you.
Well, no, it was
Very
too far
reasonable.
because I was in the Tacoma area.
Gotcha.
And so they
Understood.
took me to
Yeah.
the closest hospital.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think they did that with Jake. They brought him to Seattle, didn't they?
well, he was
He was
Okay.
He was
he was
medevaced.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Helicopter.
Well, his accident.
critical condition. So.
No offense. Was very serious.
Oh yeah. No.
yeah.
No, no, no,
he
no,
should
no.
not have survived.
No,
serious.
No, he shouldn't.
Well, technically, you shouldn't have survived. Either.
No,
That is
I
true.
I shouldn't
That is
His
either.
was
true.
But
worse.
his was
His was
a lot worse
fucking
because
awful.
of how
Traumatic was.
yeah. Of,
and how he landed
Yeah.
too. Jesus
well, I
Christ.
mean, how I landed. That's why I should be dead. But the sight of he also wasn't wearing any protection whatsoever. He was just wearing a
I'm
helmet.
sure he's wearing a condom.
Anyways, he was just he was just in his clothes.
Maybe that's why he passed out. All the blood rushed to his dick.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but no, I mean
Was
he
it
was
after you guys ate when he passed out?
no,
Okay.
no, he was just on a straightaway and it just slightly curved like
And
this.
he just
and
kept
then-
going.
And then he just I was right here. I was right behind him because he was right here. Here was me, and then it was we were the second group. So he was the leader of the second group, and then I was the second leader. So if he didn't want to be the leader, then I would control the group.
I still sometimes think it's because he used a different bike that bike affected him.
I think he
No.
may have just fallen asleep, or at least he relaxed a bit too much.
Yeah, I think so
Which
too, or
could be due to
zoned
riding a
out
bike.
or something. I don't know.
There's
Because
wild
Because
possibilities
Lee's
there.
bike is comfortable.
Because you guys started early too, which could have
Yeah,
been another
we
thing.
did start really early.
What I hated about that is that I was taking an exam that morning,
Yep.
and my mom texted me saying, Jake's been in a really bad accident. Don't know if he's going to survive. Just pray for him.
Have a good test.
Right as I'm now obligated to turn off my phone and put it away and take this exam. I fucking aced the exam, by the way, but right afterward, and I'm probably one of the first people done, I look at my phone, I'm like, I hope he's still alive. It's like, I have no fucking idea, but it's like, man, that's a lot to
think-
go into for a test.
Not just like because I got trapped there because I didn't want to ride because there was a group that kept going
Yeah.
and then there was a group that rode back. But I was so freaked out of my mind because of what I just saw. I didn't want to ride anymore. I didn't want to ride back to the hospital with everybody. So I stayed in Eastern Washington, and my parents, you guys all came and picked me up
Well, I
with my
didn't,
bike.
because I was still at school.
But Justin was there.
I
And
called out of work for 2 days, I think.
yeah, so I was just sitting at a gas station on the side, just chilling. So
Just
Traumatized.
yeah, I was just like,
Reliving the moment.
what the fuck just happened? Like, that was crazy.
and you're like, I don't know how long he's got, you know.
Well, like, I was trying to stay in touch with like my mom and other people to know what was going on and all that shit. So it was interesting.
Because he broke like what 4 or 5 vertebrae,
he broke a
3
bunch
or 4
of bones.
ribs, his jaw.
His jaw,
I know his back was really fucked
his
up.
foot.
Yeah,
I think his collarbone or his shoulder or something he broke.
yeah,
I think a
Didn't he
finger or
collapse a
2.
lung too?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
That's
common
just
thing after
yeah,
you
that's
break
just
a
common.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
rib.
Yeah.
You too? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a collapsed lung and a punctured lung
Oh,
and
I've heard
fractured
it
or
sucks like
broken ribs.
a motherfucker. Now, of
Yeah, it
all
does.
the other painful things, that's more of like a. It's hard to breathe.
I think
Yeah, you have to
after
breathe, so you always feel
after
it.
the surgeries, that was the most painful.
Yeah.
Was the ribs, because there's nothing they can do for them.
No.
So
And every time you
like,
cough, you
yeah.
sneeze, you laugh.
yeah,
It's just
everything. Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
sometimes
it's-
feel that whenever you cough still?
What?
Do you still feel pain there at all ever?
My ribs will pop.
Because you
Yeah.
did you break any ribs or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
they
broke
heal in
3.
different spots
No.
And
Sometimes
there's
or heal wrong?
there'll be bumps.
there's this side that looks just a little bit off when I have my shirt off, and I've actually, like, if you were to stand and
Show
like
the
look,
camera.
Yeah.
if we were to stand
Show
and
us
look,
your
you can
titties.
tell something's off about my right side, but it's not like super noticeable. But sometimes like I'll get like discomfort laying on this side,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily think it's because but yeah, so yeah, ribs suck. Ribs
They
breaking
taste
ribs.
really good
I have
though.
ribs in the freezer.
No, but ribs
I still
fucking
need to try
suck.
those ribs. I haven't tried them yet.
And that's painful.
I cooked
Yeah.
for like 50 people yesterday. Up to like that's how many people could.
I
eat.
told them about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our date went a little wild.
It was the most food I've ever seen Justin cook by himself in
In
his entire
By
life.
myself.
In your entire life, you cooked more food there than the
You're
rest
right. That's true.
combined.
I've made tacos a couple times, but
That's true, but that doesn't really count. It's just like heating up some beef.
I just want to learn how to cook. That's why we decided to do that.
Did you get kielbasa? Oh.
I didn't see it on there. I didn't see
You
it.
just
Is
like
it at-
sausage, don't
is it
you?
at
Dude.
Walmart? Do they have it
No.
at Walmart?
Okay, they might.
Dude, you like
have
summer
it.
sausage too, don't you?
The best.
I did get
Slim
sausage.
Jims,
Them. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I love.
wieners.
Oh, no, thin wiener.
Oh, did you get the super thick ones? The Slim
Okay,
Jims.
the ones from Costco. They're the best ever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
Because I don't shop at Costco.
the kielbasa from Costco.
Oh.
They're amazing. They're like that or so. Yes. They're like. Haha.
BBC
they're
thick.
like they're like that.
Oh
About
no, that's white boy thick.
Yeah, it is. It's white boy thick.
Yeah. Very bad.
And then, but then they're they kind of in the package they package them like this,
Yeah.
so that they can
Yeah,
smaller.
they have them at Winco too. We did it a couple times with
But-
just one dish, but
the ones from Costco, dude. I don't know what they do to them, but they're fucking amazing.
full of gum, whale gum.
Yeah. No, they're so good.
All
But
right,
yeah, I love Slim
I'm
Jims.
real tired.
Yeah, me too. I gotta work.
Not only that,
in
well,
like
yeah,
4
you.
hours or no 12 hours. Sorry.
Oh, lucky you!
Yeah.
I have to wake up in 6 hours.
For what?
Dog walking.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Another reason.
I start at 1 o'clock, but to get up there, I gotta leave at noon.
Yeah.
So
I open to close next Wednesday in Bellevue.
no one cares, Justin. No one cares.
Well, at least we'll know how much you can get. paid.
Justin, you better get ready on that end stream button because I'm about to end this shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right, if you enjoy this content, this sensual content, talking about our lives and all the people we hate, and you like spreading hate, not love, you know where you are. You love this.
Wow.
Mm.
That was hot.
Anyway, if you want to see more of our content, sometimes we do gaming streams randomly. If you want to watch that, that's up to you. I understand going from podcast to gaming is a weird stretch. I do it every day, so no excuses for anybody. But no, we will try to podcast a little bit more frequently. I keep saying that every single fucking time, and then one of us gets tired, or the other person forgets about it, or something fucking happens, hurricane, whatever, that we are not able to. But if we are here, we're going to be here Saturdays from 2 to 4 a.m. Yes. Unless, Lord willing, we can do it earlier.
Yeah.
I hope to fucking God maybe someday
I would love to.
you guys would both have to quit Domino's, because there's no fucking way at this point that you're going to be able to get a Friday night off.
Well, if we were to do it like earlier in the day before work.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
You know.
Yeah, because it'd be a little bit more eventful. Although the stories we've talked about so far would probably not come out if we were fully awake and aware. Because we wouldn't really talk about that shit here, but we did. So
This is one hell of a long outro.
It is. It is indeed.
it's hard to finish, you know?
That's what she said.
When you've been doing it your whole life, it's just hard to finish. You know, you got to set up, you got to you wait, and then you get to that end, and you're like, oh no, oh,